and wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey guys, it's Nick. We had a great week 1 high school football matchup where Lincoln North Star got the 14-10 win over Lincoln Southwest, but now it's time to turn our attention to one of the best rivalries in Nebraska. This Friday at 8 p.m., join me and Jay Foreman for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln Southwest. Southeast is coming in off of a dominating 30-0 win versus Grand Island, while the Silverhawks look to get their first win of the 2025 season. Kickoff is slated for 8 p.m. from Seacrest Field, with pregame coverage beginning at 7:45. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday night for Lincoln Southeast versus Lincoln Southwest, right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it. It is Old School on a Wednesday. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Glad you're with us. Glad as well for the sponsorship of the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, special ingredient butcher shop. 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Always open, ready, and available for you to get every type of meat and every type of cut. I'm Austin. He's Jay. Jay, welcome into the show. How are you doing this fine day? Slightly less rainy than it was yesterday.
Yeah, man,
it was brutal yesterday.
Yeah, this is crazy. Listen, we can't say we've been in a drought.
Not after the last couple days, no.
Yeah, last week or so. This is horrible.
Speaking of making it rain, seems like Steve Ballmer was making it rain outside the NBA salary cap rules with Kawhi Leonard. What the heck?
That's not new. It's not new, and it would. I think it's just a different times because if you remember correctly, if you ever watched the Jerry Jones, well, if you knew about when uh they I think signed or traded for Dion, that the Cowboys paid him through part of his salary was through like Coca-Cola and all that stuff. Now, I don't know if it was a no show up job. That's the type of job I want for $28 million.
$7 million a year for 4 years to do literally nothing.
Yeah. Just hang out. But he didn't have to show up for that job. Now he's got to show up for basketball. And he had a good year last year, so we don't give him credit. Yeah.
Now that he's back and mostly healthy with the quad, the hammy, and all that. So for those of you who might have missed the story with Kawhi Leonard, it was reported earlier today, Pablo Torre just joined The Athletic, that there was essentially a shell company set up to pay Kawhi Leonard more money above and beyond the NBA salary cap. Of course, Kawhi has signed max deals a couple times, including a max extension. But back in 2019, when Kawhi's a free agent, he takes the Toronto Raptors to the NBA championship. They win it for the first time and only time so far in franchise history. Kawhi's on the open market, did not sign an extension with Toronto. It was very heavily rumored that he wanted to go back home to LA. A lot of people thought he was going to be the Lakers, but, Clippers were always kind of in the picture. And even at the time, there was some minor NBA investigating and plenty of scuttlebutt around Uncle Dennis, right? The kind of main driver between Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs. That Uncle Dennis had wanted some kind of shady stuff in order to get Kawhi to sign with the team. So the NBA looks into that. Nope, everything's all on the up and up. But the Lakers have always been kind of pissed about it. They thought they had him, and then somewhat late in the process, here come the Clippers to swoop in and sign him. Well, that was in 2019. Plays for a couple of years, then or doesn't play for a couple of years, depending on how you want to look at it. Then he signs his max extension, 4 years, $176 million, something like that. But he also signed a deal with a company called Aspiration. Climate change, plant trees, whatever, around the same time that he signed that max extension. Now, here's where it starts to get even fishier. Aspiration also signed Robert Downey Jr. and Leonardo DiCaprio as clients. And I'm sorry to Kawhi Leonard, but he's third out of three on that list of global superstars. Robert Downey Jr. shows up in commercials. Leonardo DiCaprio shows up in commercials. Kawhi not only does not appear in a commercial, never posts on social media about it, never likes a post, never follows the company, not even anything internal, just for the Clippers. Okay, so you have two A-list superstars making less than $7 million combined for this project.
Right.
And Kawhi's making $7 million a year. Okay, so where are they getting the money from? From Steve Ballmer, who put in $50 million of his own money into this company. And then it gets even crazier, Jay. There's an aspect to this where some Nate Jones, NBA reporter, is saying, this thing's common, right? Like you said, it's been going on forever, where stars will sign contracts with big team sponsors. Some will have clauses that say the deal with the sponsor ends if they move to another team, because that sponsor, of course, only sponsors one team. Well, it never actually got that far with Aspiration. Company goes bankrupt. They obviously file, I think, Chapter 9 or Chapter 11. So it never actually ended up being a team sponsor, but it turned into a shell company and is now under federal investigation for fraud. Who's listed as a creditor in the bankruptcy filings? A relatively new company called KL2 Aspire LLC. What are Kawhi Leonard's initials?
KL.
What number does he wear?
2.
What's the root of aspiration?
Man.
Aspire.
Yeah.
Kawhi is still being paid while the company is going under, completely bankrupt. No one else is getting paid except Kawhi. Because why? Because Uncle Dennis is making calls. Where's my money? Pay me or we go public with this. Kawhi's making $7 million a year to do nothing while companies going bankrupt that Steve Ballmer put $50 of his own $1 million into.
And then you wonder, was that the whole purpose?
There's no way it wasn't, right?
To move money and just bankrupt it. But Kawhi's still going to get paid, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah,
at least for now.
He couldn't. There's no way that he would take money away. You know what I'm saying? Not pay him. There's no way. No way. There's no way in the world that he would do that. There's no way that because it would be Kawhi. You think he don't play now?
How many games did Kawhi play last year? I think he broke 60, didn't he?
Yeah, he was out there, and you were like, dang, you still playing?
And playing really well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year, Kawhi Leonard, okay, only 37 games, my bad, once he got back. But when he was healthy,
yeah, he was pretty.
He played once he got back.
And he played in the playoffs, too, right?
Yeah, played pretty darn well in the playoffs. Played 68 games 2 years ago. That's what I was thinking. Before getting hurt at the end. So let's jump off on kind of your point, Jay. This has been going on kind of forever. You know who else was investigated for this before? The Clippers and DeAndre Jordan back in 2015. Also in 2015, Tom Brady gets investigated. TB12 and the Patriots.
Oh. Yeah. You got to listen, the Patriots were always tiptoeing the line. The Patriots just stayed in the gray area. They're like, oh, man, I didn't know that was the rule. We interpreted it different. You know, in some religions, that you can interpret whether you either drink 0 drinks or you can drink 100.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you to decide whether you're drunk or not. I think that's the Patriots. Oh, man, we didn't know. We didn't know we couldn't pay another company, $8 million. That's why he kept taking on cap-friendly deals.
Right. Jalen Brunson leaves $113 million on the table to re-sign with the Knicks.
Yeah, that is stupidity at its finest.
Unless it's not. Unless he's got $113 million waiting somewhere else for him.
Yeah, but his dad's the coach.
Mm-hmm.
That means both of them will be on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
Or you paying his dad. I don't know, man. I don't really think it's that big a deal, but I think it's a big deal in the sense of now you got certain teams operating with a competitive advantage because they're able to keep these type of players and then sign other players and then not pay whatever level of luxury tax as far as like the Clippers go.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with the Knicks, right? You're able to do and make some huge trades and all that stuff. And then the Patriots, damage is done. You might as well leave the Patriots alone. Just leave it alone. Is the best run of all. It'd be like finding out that Alabama was paying players. Just let it be.
Oh, we'll get to Alabama later. Some really interesting comments on that. But more from Nate Jones. He says, yes, pretty much every NBA team star has a deal with a major team sponsor or sponsors. It's not considered circumvention because there's an exchange of rights. It's on the partner to utilize those rights, name, image, likeness rights, essentially. And to enforce them, paying $7 million is pricey, but the Clippers and Kawhi have cover here. Of course, I've never seen an instance of a player not actually being asked to activate, but Kawhi can say that's not on him. It's on aspiration for not asking him to show up. Didn't see any emails saying don't ask Kawhi to activate it.
Yeah, I was waiting. You just never called.
You never called. You never sent the email.
Yeah, man. He was waiting for the call to go play golf. He just never called it. I ain't mad at Kawhi. Get your money, man. Oh, shucks. 50 million, the billionaire, 50 million. I lost 50 million. You writing that 50 mil off.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah.
So quick. Of course, this isn't necessarily the first time that this has happened in the NBA. Joe Smith had the same thing with the Timberwolves, Jay.
I know. See, and that is not a good investment with Joe Smith.
It certainly
it was not.
Did not work out.
Even though he's a former Maryland Terrapin. I like Joe Smith.
Been on the show.
Oh, with Stricky.
With Strick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what happened when the Minnesota Timberwolves were found out to have circumvented the cap with Joe Smith? 5 first-round picks they had to forfeit. Did get 2 of them back later. 5 first, not 5 total. 5 first-round picks forfeited. Got fined $3.5 million.
What was the company that was paying them?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Mm.
Joe Smith's contract was voided, and he lost his bird rights.
Oh, dang.
Huge deal. Glenn Taylor got suspended, and Kevin McHale forced to step away from the team.
Kevin McHale. I like Ed McHale, man. Remember when he got back into coaching? He's like, man, there's a lot of travel.
A lot of travel.
Man, listen, they were probably like sloppy with it. They probably were more mad that you did that for Joe Smith. Like, we're going to teach you a lesson
Because you're the Minnesota Timberwolves.
You're the Timberwolves. We're going to make an example out of you, and you didn't sign back my man Sam Cassell, and kept the Latrell Sprewells riding on spinners together. And you let Tom Gugliotta go wherever he loved it. And you bring in Joe Smith.
And break the rules to do it.
Yeah, and they had some issues up there for a while, because you had the Malik Sealy thing, unfortunate. You got hit on a wrong way driver. You had the Joe Smith who got into a little bit of stuff. And then they had Felipe Lopez, who was just wilding out in Minneapolis.
You ever meet Felipe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Stories are true?
About what? How he kicked it?
Everything?
He was a wild boy. Here's a funny story about Sam Cassell. And I like Sam Cassell in college because I think I played him on NCAA and on PlayStation or whatever. So I liked him. He had a little elbow jumper. And I think he played for the Rockets, I think prior. I always admired his game. I like Sam Cassell because remember he was Florida State with Bobby Sura.
Mm-hmm.
They were cold. I liked it, when they be on the game. So we're up in Prince's Club. It used to be called Glam Slam. Then it went to like his symbol, and you know what I mean. And then so I was with some friends, ran into him, introduced myself or whatever. I had I didn't have full season Timberwolves tickets. I got like a half a season. When our season was over, split it with 4 of my high school buddies. And so we'd go. So that was the icebreaker or whatever. And one of the games we had got, somehow, I think Kirby Puckett got us down on the court side. So he kind of had seen me. Well, then we went to this other place called South Beach, and Sam Cassell was in there. And he did like this toast and sent over champagne. We did not leave Minneapolis. I couldn't get back home. We had to emergency stay at a hotel. Yeah, it was Sam Cassell was the king. He was great. He was always really cool, like real down to earth, really funny dude. And Felipe Lopez was wild. Listen, him and Michael Olo Candy.
Mm-hmm. The Candy Man.
Candy, they were in Dinky Town everywhere.
Whew.
I get calls back. We're like, hey, we seen Felipe. Or it'd be like on an odd Wednesday. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we saw your boy Felipe again.
Yeah, one of my friends lived downtown. He was like, yeah, I went and got some beers after work. Felipe was, up in there kicking it hard. So,
while we're on the Clippers here, Jay, we mentioned the punishments that the Timberwolves got. But will those have an impact on the Clippers? Probably not.
No.
Number one, fines are essentially useless to a man whose net worth is, at least according to Forbes, more than the NBA itself. The NBA is valued at approximately $130 billion. Steve Ballmer, his net worth valued approximately $150 billion. He could buy the NBA if he wanted to, at the drop of a hat. And we talked about the picks, right? Forfeiting the 5 first-round picks like Minnesota did. How about this? The Clippers don't own their own picks outright until 2030. They're already missing 5 years of picks.
Yeah, go ahead. Do what you got to do. We'll be all gone anyways.
How do you punish them? This is Harbaugh to the NFL stuff. They've already gotten away with it.
You just chalk it up to the game?
You ban him from the league? Or something?
You can't. You're going to tell him he can't go? He owns the stadium or the arena.
Force him to sell?
No.
Again, it's the richest guy, so you're not going to do that.
And that's not like the other dude. What was his
Sterling?
name? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what you do. You could probably maybe reduce their salary cap.
Clearly they don't care about that though.
Yeah. Or you could find, if there's a way to stop them from signing guys in free agency next year or something like that. It'd be like the equivalent of taking away like draft picks for the NFL or like reducing their team salary cap.
Signing pool bonus for Major League Baseball, something like that.
Yeah. Reduce their salary cap, by 15-20% and then increase their luxury tax by that. Because then you're going to hurt the team and then obviously hurt the pockets a little bit.
And if the NBA, I think if the NBA is looking to make the most money, I think that's what they do. They lower the salary cap for the Clippers, but also they move the luxury tax down with it.
Yeah.
Because the luxury tax isn't set at a certain number of dollars. It's a percentage above the cap. So,
if they have to be tighter to it. Yeah.
If you bump the Clippers
down
salary cap down, but keep the percentage above the same, they can essentially be sending the first apron amount like another team, but be paying second plus apron prices.
Yeah, they need to make it just for a year. Real hard on them.
Only a year?
Maybe 2. After that, nobody's going to care.
That's as long as Kawhi's still under contract.
Yeah, they'll be in 2 years. All the grandpas will be off that roster. I mean, they got the old school crew over there.
Yeah, I mean they're all old. I mean that's the team that's average age is about 30.
Yeah, so I think
Harden's still there.
2 years. Harden will be on it. He'll be still trying to get back to Houston.
One other thing on that. Nate Jones again. Also, I guarantee that the league just wants this to go away because if you try to get legal with Steve Ballmer, he's going to go nuclear and get every team sponsorship books and sponsor correspondence opened up in court. He individually has more resources than the NBA itself.
There's got to be a compromise. Hey, we got you. What can we, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Joint statement, all that. Don't fight it. It's taken on the chin. That's why I think it'd be a year. The quicker it is, the better. The longer it goes, and they can dive into more stuff, because then you bring other teams in. You're like, okay, what about the Lakers? What about whoever else?
What about the Knicks? What about
the Knicks? Right.
Houston? What
so
about
everybody else is like, Steve, you need to take this deal.
Mm-hmm.
We need you to it.
For your sake and for ours. Right. Mostly for ours.
Yeah. Like immediately.
As soon as this comes out, yep, sorry, did it. Never gonna happen again.
It's like it's Deflate Gate. It's the Spygate.
Spygate.
That was happening a long time. I mean, the teams were doing that.
Yeah.
The Patriots been doing that long before the Super Bowl.
But then they got sloppy and got caught.
They didn't get sloppy. They were just so roguish with it. They was like, these dummies, we've been doing this all season. Nobody said anything.
Try one more time.
And just the fact that they were the only team to shut down the Rams completely. The Rams were like, whoa, what's going on? It was like, with your boy at Michigan. They said that one of the Ohio State players, he was number 33 last year. He's played at Pittsburgh. They interviewed him about it. And he was like, we had just put in these plays, but we had been practicing them, but we hadn't put them in the game. So it lets you know they've been spying on it. There was like it's a video where they had a screen pass, and then the whole team was doing that. Even with Nebraska, when we were we were going neck and neck with them, and they ran that screen to their sideline. The whole team didn't even the whole.
Aiden Hutchinson just says, "I'm here."
Yeah, just didn't pass rush. But yeah, the Clippers, they're going to have to take one on the chin. Don't fight it, because here's what you fear is that, and I don't think Ballmer's like Daniel Snyder, ego and all that. I think he's obviously very confident.
Yeah.
And he probably knows what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got caught. The league knows you got caught. Your other billionaire buddies know you got caught. Sure, you got a little bit of embarrassment, but then you take it on the chin and then get right back to the drawing boards and see what other way you could skirt the rules. But don't be like Daniel Snyder, where you push back, attack other owners, then you end up without your franchise and your friends.
Because they're supposed to cover for you. But the second you start attacking them.
Because you know what the problem is with being a billionaire? I don't understand. But
I don't know the problems. I would love to one day understand.
I do. I would like these problems. You don't have a lot of friends. Because, I learned this when I first moved to Minnesota, and I used to hang out with this dude named Brian Jacobs. And, his dad was some big-time lawyer. I mean, like, big time. And his mom was the nurse. So she'd always hook me up my senior year. I'd be calling in saying, I'm Chuck, Jay's not coming to school. And Brian, whatever. And Brian's dad was really, wealthy or whatever. And he just only had about 4 or 5 friends, because you just, the things that you're doing, what Steve Ballmer's talking about, his problems, me and you can't understand it.
We'll never understand.
Yeah, imagine coming home was like, man, dang, call up Austin. Austin, he's like, Jay, what's wrong, man? You seem like you got a lot on your mind. Man, that's that fake company that I started, the 10th one that I did, that I started, and all 9 of them probably made me, $1 billion.
Wait. You had 9 others? Would be my first reaction.
Well, they all know it, right? This is like billionaire to billionaire conversation. Yeah, man. Some reporter tried to, get in good into athletic, found out about it. Now I'm down 50 million. You can't you can't call anybody and say I lost 50 million and somebody even know what it's like.
Even 5 million.
Yeah.
Even 500,000.
Yeah, even $500.
$500, seriously.
50.
Yeah.
I got to get that.
I get back.
It. Yes.
Where's it coming from?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm El Frugal, man. If I got to overspend on something, I might be selling some old Jordans or something, man. I can't be having that, man. My sphincter must get too tight. So his problem is he's like, these are my only buddies, my only friends. Because okay, let me ask you. You think Steve Ballmer is going to go to like whatever, like LA Country Club and just, hey, man, I'm a single. Can you put me with 3 other dudes? Now, mind you, they're millionaires there, right? There might be Austin Reeves and all these guys he's making 85 millions. Mm-hmm. He can own the league. Would you go like, hey, what are you drinking? Busch Light? No. Just imagine, right? Hey, Steve, man, what are you doing? He's like, oh man, I'm flying to Florida. And you say, what airline you flying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying?
Airline.
Yeah, I'm flying like Delta, right? Taking the red eye, try to be cheap. He's like, oh yeah, we'll probably leave. It'll leave when I get. We might have a little breakfast.
Little brunch on the plane just in case they get hungry.
Yeah, we lose 3 hours. Maybe we'll just get up and have some tea and some coffee. Get there, eat. Have
lunch.
Yeah. A couple Cornish hens and stuff like that. So some champagne, and then we got a 5-star dinner by the time we get there. We'll worry about golf tomorrow. What time's the tea time?
We'll worry about that tomorrow.
When I get there. I'll just make a call. Well, it's gonna be midnight. They'll answer. Yeah, you don't have people you can have those conversations with. You heard what Magic Johnson said.
Mm-hmm.
When he became a billionaire, he's like, shoot, if the deal ain't 10 million, I can't even talk.
I can't show up. I can't be there.
No, it's like he's like, you got to get to that level because that's what really is worth his time. And I have one like experience with it. That was with the Giants. And this is before if you weren't a quarterback or like a famous like offensive player, you really weren't getting a lot of like signings or whatever. So we were gonna make the playoffs, and it was funny. And we were in the shower, and everybody's in there, and it was me, and like Jeremy Shockey was in there, and then Tiki Barber was in there, and it was before all of his stuff or whatever. And he was like, yeah. So-and-so Honda wanted me to go and do, a 4-hour appearance for 20,000 or something. Or like, I think it was like 10. He's like, I'm not coming out the house for 20. I said, man, me and Shockey looked at it. I was like, man, I'll come out of the house for 1,000. Especially if they go pay for me to be there.
For an hour?
Yeah.
Even 2 hours.
Yeah.
How about 500?
And then like 2 weeks later, once we made the playoffs, we did like we went to the mall and they did like, one of those sports memorabilia things.
Mm-hmm.
Signed for like an hour. We got $15. You couldn't at $1,500. You would have thought that we were boss balling. This dude talking about he ain't doing nothing for $20,000 back then. So that's the equivalent of Steve Ballmer right now.
Dang, Tiki.
Yeah, he was all right. He was good. He was different. He was different.
Tiki a better running back than Rondé was a DB?
No. Tiki had fumble problems until Coughlin got there. Then he went off.
People forget.
And then he was really, really good, and then lost his way a little bit. And then obviously, I think the way he ended in New York and some of his off the field stuff affected him when he tried to extend his career. But I'd probably say Rondé Barber is the best slot corner, slot player, nickel player of all time.
Woo.
Slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
Without a question. He revamped people's defenses around the way he played. Now, he still could be out there, corner. But when he went in the slot, he was...
Night-night.
He was He could defend. He had the big play against the Eagles when they went up there and beat them. He'd get sacks and all that stuff. He was a really good football player. He was a great football player.
$20,000 in 2005 is $33,000 today.
That's still a lot of money.
That's still
I thought it was be close to 50. Listen,
that's still an extra 65%.
Hey, exactly. But I was looking at him. Now, mind you, we were in the shower, so I couldn't do it. I didn't work either. But I was just like, I can't believe it. I just couldn't believe, I guess, the gall or whatever, or the, I guess, arrogance or whatever. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do it for really?
It's arrogance, but also to be able to be that comfortable.
Yeah.
To where you can say, no, I'm good. I'll pass on 20.
Never get that comfortable.
Dang. Well, we'll see what happens with Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and the Clippers. We'll be back Whiteboard Wednesday, TCU, North Carolina. Couple indicative plays Jay's got dug up for us. So.
The play that I'm going to bring up, though, brought back bad memories.
Oh, boy.
But the bad memory, the play that I went this same exact play, didn't work out well for Jay Foreman. Michael Pittman was talking junk after this, and that's why I knocked his helmet off.
Turnabout is fair play. Whiteboard Wednesday, Jay's therapy session next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all. And full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters. And the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Aloe at 866-481-2556 or visit aloefiber.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's third annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's. I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries with Texas toast. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Oh, let's get after it here on a Whiteboard Wednesday. We talked a little bit about this game already. That would be North Carolina and TCU. But linebacker at number 56, number 44, Jay Foreman has a lot to say and potentially even some PTSD on a very similar play. Jay, Whiteboard Wednesday. Let's go.
Man, we were playing Tampa one year, and we were playing what's called an odd front. So odd front is this here. Well, first of all right, we're going to explain this. This is your – everybody was asking about the 3-3-5. This is it right here, just to let you know. 3 defensive linemen. 3
right there in the middle.
3 linebackers.
One on either end and then one in the middle.
End. So you got a 5-man front, but it's 3-3-5 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
This right here was your boy. This right here was your
Jay
boy.
Foreman.
Right.
Safeties rolled down a little bit.
Rolled down,
box.
yeah, and it depends on you got locked up man to man. You can see this right there. They're playing. This is like called levels, right? You want to have a guy pressing. He's in a hard job, right? You got the tight end here. Okay.
With the safety head up over him.
Yep. And so when we ran our 3-3-5, we kept our safety back, and then this linebacker would be behind the line of scrimmage, and the defensive lineman would be in a true loose 5 or a tight 5. So, but this is the same thing. The reason why in an odd front it's hard because these guards are uncovered. That means nobody's in front of them. Now, the tip this is, right, as a linebacker, film study, you look at little tips to give you a head start on trying to defend the play. So we will be going a little bit longer this, and we'll do we have the play too?
Yes.
Because on the flip side, we're going to show you the same play, but TCU obliterated the play.
Yes.
So if you look at this offensive lineman here, okay, see how he's sitting back, butt low. We used to call it he's taking a crap, or in a frog stance. He's going to either be pulling out, right, or he's on the move, or he's in pass set. So either or, right? Look at the depth of the running back. So he's 8 yards deep.
2 behind the quarterback, 2.5.
That's run. 8 yards deep. You can't pass protect. We blitz off the line of scrimmage. We get to the quarterback before you can even step up and get there.
Before you get set in position.
You set, and you're right behind him. It's heavy.
You're in pistol.
Right. We used to call it Army. Right. And so when these 2 guards potentially could pull, that means if your run responsibility, let's just say this defensive tackle who looks like he's in a 3, he has the B gap. You have as a linebacker, you have the A gap right here on his side, which would be the right side, or the defensive right side of the ball. Well, when this guy pulls, your gap goes over here.
So you got the opposite B then.
Opposite
A? Opposite A?
Opposite A? Okay.
Opposite
A gap, right? Because essentially the line just shifts over 1. So now the nose becomes you become the nose on the play side because he has a hard job. He's got to make sure that he doesn't get what's called scoop block or reached or whatever you would call it. So when we see this in the next series, you're going to get 2 guards pulling. He's going to pull up in there, and he's hitting it up here, and he's going to strike up the band and cock the head back. Then he's gone. So that's what it looked like pre-snap. Okay, that's the positions. This is right after it, getting over there. And you see this guard pulling. You see the depth, right? So right here, first of all, listen, there's an old saying, slow feet don't eat. You clicking the heels like you're
Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz.
Your Wizard of Oz? That
Too
ain't
late.
good. You crossing over, you ain't Tim Hardaway or Allen Iverson. It's not good. You got to shuffle, and you got to get downhill and move. You almost got to, what we used to call get downhill, skate to the left, square pads. But we had all these. It just is. It's, don't get out leverage, but leverage the ball, don't leverage the block. It's all these dumb names that people come up with. But
it's catchy. It sticks with you.
It is, right?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
20 years later, go figure. Can't remember anything in school, but I can remember football. Okay. The onside guard pulled out, right? Good job right there, setting the edge, right? So he's coming over here looking for work, most likely on this safety.
So already to the third level because he's got no one in his way, nothing to sort through.
Yes, sir. And not so fast, my friend.
Okay.
If you don't have your head on a swivel, excuse me, that's why I got hit one time like this is with PTSD. You will get rocked. Okay. Remember that tight end I told you about?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's coming.
Yeah, it's a double team. They did a really good job of double teaming and slipping up to the second level because the reason why I know it's a good double team, look at this North Carolina defender right here. They got a little bit of movement right there. Right? And when we see the other play, you look at the difference. All right? So now you're late in your read. It is a hard read because there isn't any counter step and pull because that's why it's hard because he's straight delaying going play side versus counter step. You move over and then you see the guard move back. So it kind of is easier that way. Right? So now what are they going to do most likely on big runs? They're going to test your fundamentals and just see where you're at. And come in the first play in the second half, 5 seconds into the game. This is a look-see play. Let's see how you come out at halftime, and let's see what we can get. Well, it worked out. It worked out real well for them, and this is the result right here. And it's kind of all like mushed up right here. But again, I want you to look at something footwork, right? This makes you late with a bad read. This is the tight end. Look at the angle that he has on this block right here. Right,
completely pushing that guy back to the middle of the field.
Well, he got a good job on the double team right there, allowing this tackle to seal him because you can see we had a little bit better film. That right arm, he's able to kind of essentially pin him there, right? So that 5 technique is there. It's almost like a really good pick in a pin down or something like that. You really just created a lot of space. Now here's this guard, right? That's pulled. He hasn't impeded his progress at all. He is tight, right? TCU said they wanted to be physical, right? And they've worked at this. This is blocked perfectly. He is about to get his shoulder square. It's over.
Offensive guard on a safety.
It's over because this running back is getting paid literally in college to make him right that guard. So it's a two-way go. Look at this down here. We asked about where, we talk about home run hitters and an Emmett and all that, how that works. Look at this downfield blocking right here. Look at that right there.
Completely engaged.
Right. Look at everybody engaged. And you had a win back here. Too late. Too late. You showed up to the club 2 hours late. Dude. Ladies' night is over and gone. Right? Too late. Why? Play side got destroyed. Win here. Super win here. Win there. No separation. A little late read here. Right? All right. Next one. Okay. This is just kind of funny. This is the result of it. This is how quick it can happen. Trust me. I've been on the other side of this. Actually, this happened in practice, my first play in the NFL minicamp. I was like, dang, where'd he go? Well, strike up the band. There you go right there. Look at this right here. This is the sweet thing about this, and I can't wait to do it when we do the black shirt breakdown and Whiteboard Wednesday on video, which we'll post. Look how tight he runs this right here.
Right on him.
Yeah. Look at that. Now
no daylight.
Look at this. Look at this. Hey, what did I say? Hit the sideline, cock the head back, strike up the band. You could have just stopped. This is a touchdown. But more importantly, I talked about the angles, right? And I talked about that tight end who originally started out here. He is now blocking that linebacker here.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's 7-8 yards.
Well, it's not even downfield. This is the original line of scrimmage. You're late, you are blocked. You're better off just spinning and trying to chase him down. Now, if you look at this dude here, this running back, he did not look like he was fast.
No.
Had like a little old dad body, kind of all bunched up in his uniform. Yeah, he rolled out pretty good. He's a 4.4 guy. I had to look at him. Now look at the next one here. Okay, I just wanted to get you and see how hard it is and how hard this read is. We need to post this again so we can kind of get the clips on here. This is the linebacker. I won't even tell you who that is. He has a Nebraska connection.
Oh no,
that's the Mackay Bear.
Yep. You just said you weren't gonna tell.
Well, you Jedi mind tricked me again.
I just sat here.
That's what you think.
I just sat here.
The way you look, I swear, hey, listen, your son can't never lie to you. Okay? I already know. But look at this right here. right? Look at this right here. Win. Look at that. Got him. Win. Got him. And look at this dude right here. Hey, they had tight ends when I played that were big. It was like Anthony Beck, Kyle Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Anthony Beck's kid's pretty good at quarterback this year so far.
The Patriots had just big old tight ends. You know, look at this angle. He's just licking his chops. I've seen guys get put to sleep right here because back then they could ear hole you. This is a Hines Ward special. Used to be on all the NFL films. Now they outlawed it because then they get lawsuits, right? All right. I just wanted to see that right there. This is the anatomy of a big play. Late. Okay, we'll go back. Look. Chilling. Like that guarded pull. This is the guard right here. Look where the eyes are. Here. This is where you need to be right here. Because now you can get over top and make the play for 4 or 5 yards. That's a winning play when you're a little bit outnumbered and out leveraged. Right? Now you can do that by if we went back to pre-snap, alignment over there. Because you have a safety down actually both sides. So I'm gonna favor where, Austin? To the tight end side.
Tight end side.
But they didn't. Okay. Whatever you're taught, that's cool. That's why I'm sitting here. Right here. I just wanted to show you how big that gap is right there. Look at that.
That's your quintessential. You could drive a semi through there.
Look at that right there. And look at old buddy back here. This is how you know nobody was expecting this. This dude has the best seat in the house. He ain't even looking.
He knows it's over.
Hey, and look at the ump. Ump ain't looking. Okay? Hey, and look at my boy over here. Yeah. Let me get a vodka cranberry. Right? Everybody's trying to get their orders in. Look, she's trying to get lined up to where she can take a picture. But look at this right here. House call. That was the first one, right? Right? They actually hit out here. Now let's go. Let's see what we got next. There
See the guy getting through the hole there.
There it is. See there?
That linebacker's getting mauled out of the way to open that up even further.
This is the movement right here. This is the double team. And look at the angle that he has on here. Essentially, he can wall you off. He doesn't even have to ear hole you. He just got to like box you out or, you know, like get big on you, get wide as far as defense goes. It was blocked beautifully, right?
And that's a pretty simple play that I'm sure a bunch of teams have in their playbook.
Yeah, I call it, it's a look-see. Let's look and see how you come out, you know, energy-wise and effective-wise out of halftime. And maybe they saw something in the first half. And then let's look and see what we can get with this basic play, right? And I'll see 70, 80-yard touchdown. Let's see if we get it right.
This is the flip side.
Okay,
this is the flip side.
Okay, this is the flip side. It is essentially what happens with coordinators. It gets a little bit of ego, and they'll say, hey, look, since you did it to us, we're going to do it right back to you. So the Patriots went about it a different way. They didn't do super wide splits, which I think hurt this play, right? So you remember when they had the stacked look levels, they're still doing levels because you got right here, but this receiver was out here, right? So now it brings, when you have this tight a split by number 2, then you bring in 2 extra defenders.
When you say number 2, that's the inside receiver to the
right.
To the
number
field.
2.
Yeah.
Now he TCU had him lined up directly around him right there, right? So now look at the same play. The Patriots do something different. I'll take that off. Do something different here is that instead of having a tight end, they brought in an extra offensive lineman. So they're letting you know we're trying to get physical. You know, we're going to get physical, ready, break, right? Okay. So this is the extra tight end right here, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is regular nickel defense out of a 3-3-5 personnel. So this is the way we used to run it, right? When we did it, we'd go 3-3-5, and we'd have Kylie Wong, who was a great outside linebacker, or Antoine Peak Sr., and they would be standing up here. Then we'd have our 3 defensive linemen. But look at this right here. You're coming down, right? It's a straight up, we used to call this inside take, inside zone. You see this, you'll see this 50 times this weekend, right? Straight inside zone, right? Running back originally started out here, about 8 yards, right? He's hitting it, right? They had some sort of cross blitz, which is a run blitz, which they do in the A gap. So they'll have the 2 guys and they'll cross one A gap and then one come on the other. But watch what happens here. I know it's a lot of scribbling, right? Watch what I'm going to take some of this stuff off. All of it off, actually. But watch this right here since he's hitting it, right? But more importantly, look at this line of scrimmage right here. Look where they are. one guy on the new line of scrimmage, another guy on the new line of scrimmage. He's on the line of scrimmage, and he's a stalemate. That's a win. Now the onus falls on these two guys of making the play, either making the tackle or making the play for somebody else to get the credit for the tackle. All right, let's look at the next one right here. Hey, look at the finished product.
Whoop.
Okay, the handoff is there. You had a run blitz there. So look where he's free, right? Because this defense, you can't see it right now. This defensive tackle here is taking up 2 blockers, right? He's free, already defeated. You see the guy on the ground, right? You already punched and pulled him. So now you have 1 free runner, 2 and 3. 1 guy here. Look at this, right? You had a late TE stunt, so he got upfield and he comes underneath to stop it. Look at this right here. I mean, this is just this is cash money records right here. Okay, on 3rd and 4, this is you're expecting, right? Maybe a run down, you like it.
Okay? It's a down where you have to expect everything.
You expect everything, but then when they bring in another offensive lineman, the guys inside are playing more run, and TCU all night essentially felt like they could cover these guys down. Look at this right here. They were winning all night against the receivers.
Mm-hmm. The safety is not even paying attention to any of those receivers on the outside.
He's just waiting for something to declare. Yeah. Right? Okay. Last but not least, hey, imagine you were a running back and they say, "What'd you see?" Right? I saw everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the 6th defender right here. And there's somebody else in there I'm missing.
And there's somebody already in the backfield by the ACC logo.
Right, yeah. So you got 6, 7 guys in there, 6 guys by the ball, 1 guy right here that pretty much helped make the play because him doing his job, making it look like a pass rush, took this blocker out of there and had this guy chasing. Right? And so that's the difference in there when you talk about why they struggle so much. And then this is the end result here, which is always great for a defensive guy. Well, you know why it's great for a defensive guy? This quarterback has to watch us demolish him. Look at this. Losers lean, hanging out to look good on tape, knowing you ain't blocked nobody. 5, 6 guys over there fighting to see who got credit for the tackle. This right here, okay, is what we used to do best, is like more hats to the ball. But also, you'd always have to get up and celebrate for the hopes that they would say you got the tackle.
Foreman on the tackle.
Yeah, because we knew we weren't going to be in the game that long. We got to make sure we get our credit. So
then it's almost like you want to be there last, so you can be first off the pile to celebrate. See if you get credit for the tackle.
Well, I wouldn't say his name, but a little fella that was on the air earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he used to do. Little fella from Columbus, Georgia. That's a former Nebraska player, but he loves the Georgia Bulldogs. I don't know who that may be. That's exactly what he used to do. Here's what Farley used to do for everybody.
So you did name him again. You can't put that one. You didn't even look over here.
Yeah, that is true. But is it only reason I said Farley because I saw Bach back there.
There we go.
Yeah. Here's where Farley would be. Right there. T. Farley. And then he run over there.
Start dancing.
And then he'd be interviewed after the game. No, that's my boy, man. But yeah, that's the difference. Obviously, everybody's wondering what happened about Belichick, and obviously, if we get a chance, we'll do some Nebraska stuff, and we'll probably be able to have some stuff from Akron. The reason why we didn't do Cincinnati because I felt like it was just probably just obliterated by all the internet coaches out there. It wouldn't even. But I felt like this was the last game with Bill Belichick. But I will tell you this: as good as TCU played that play, it's an easy fix for North Carolina. I'd bet.
Because that wasn't a talent issue.
No. It's just experience, mixing in 70 guys, actually probably trying to play too perfect, overthinking game, overthinking stuff, and it's a great teaching and learning tape. I can guarantee you, not guarantee you, I would be willing to put $1 or $2 that they'll play a lot better, especially defensively, against any type of any type of that run action for the rest of the season.
Belichick won't have it any other way.
So, and yeah, the other Steve's too, right?
Yeah, Steve.
Steve
And I think Brian is the other Belichick on staff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you got my man Mike Pfeiffer as the special teams coach. He was a wild boy too. Hey.
Felipe Lopez style, or
nah, he would get it cracking. Hey, right
cracking?
7:00 in the morning. He's been up since 4. So, anyways, Whiteboard Wednesday, Black Shirt Breakdown, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, old school to new school way. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Midwest Bank is proud to serve Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank making local decisions, supporting community organizations, and helping businesses succeed with 10 locations throughout the state, from Wisner to Deschler, Norfolk to York, and right here in Lincoln too. Whether you're opening a checking account, buying your first home, in need of an ag loan, or in search of cash management services for your business, we're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's. I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers, crinkle cut fries with Texas toast. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back wrapping up hour 1 of Old School. Super short segment here. We have $50 to give away to our friends at Grata Bar and Lounge. Everybody's favorite question is, what's for dinner? The easy answer is Grata Bar and Lounge, located in the Clock Tower Shopping Center at 70th and A. Grata Bar and Lounge features a menu full of delicious options, ranging from unique menu items like the peanut butter burger or the wizard pastrami sandwich, to your more traditional items like the mushroom burger or the French dip. They also have daily specials and incredible drink options. Find out for yourself at Grotto Bar and Lounge today at 70th and A. All right, Jay, trivia question for you. We'll get texture number 4 with the right answer, over or under. Mm-hmm. How many Eden Prairie High School alumni have played in the NFL?
I got to answer this?
Yes. How many Eden Prairie High School alumni have played in the NFL? This is according to Sports Reference, by the way.
I'll just say 5, but I know 4 for sure.
Okay, Jay says 5. We need texter number 4 with the right answer, over, under, or put.
Because we get the benefit of the doubt. It's probably more than that. Oh, it is more than that. Oh, I just told the answer. I'm just kidding.
So I was trying to figure out what year you and Tiki would have played together for that story, right? Mm. Were you born in Eden Prairie?
No.
Okay, well, Sports Reference is wrong then. It lists Eden Prairie as your birthplace.
That's where I went to high school.
Yeah. I didn't think you were born there, but Sports Reference does. So,
well, I could tell you this: there was not a lot of pigmentation in Eden Prairie before me. There is plenty now.
Yeah. You're a trendsetter, Jay.
So we were imported.
We do have the final answer. Number 4 texter is Aaron.
Aaron.
Well,
it is Aaron, right?
This one is just Aaron. We have a different Aaron on the text line. So, Aaron, you win the $50 to Grotto. We'll write your name down, stop by the station, and pick it up.
Check?
You are the first player from Eden Prairie High School to make the NFL, Jay. There have been 6 since you. Mark Lavoie, a tackle, played for
Mark Lavoie, yeah.
Lavoie, yep. Patriots, Rams, and Ravens. Benny Sapp III with Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Ryan Connolly. Jermaine Johnson. Carter Coughlin and Blake Cashman.
Blake Cashman. I used to train Blake Cashman. I know train Carter. Both of them. Well, there was a coach here that I brought those 2 here. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah.
And they're both in the league.
Yeah, still. And Blake just got paid.
Hey.
I texted him the other day. I said, man, if I see you on Lake Minnetonka again, I'm going to start trying to say you Prince with Purple Rain. Yeah, Benny Sapp. Now, his dad played up there, and then so he was really good. Mark Lavoie was right after me a little bit. Another guy that had a cup of tea. I didn't make those are all the guys that made active rosters.
Active rosters, yeah.
Leroy McFadden, who was a running back mate with me, he went to Michigan State. He went to a prep school recruited by Nick Saban. So Nick Saban it didn't get me, got Leroy. Another guy that was probably more talented than all of us. Okay. And he is probably going to go down to, he's probably the guy that you could say, well, I know there's multiple guys in front of Tom Brady at Michigan, but he was actually beating Tom Brady out at one point in time at Michigan. Jason Kapsner, he was the USA Today, the number 1 quarterback. Mm-hmm. He went to Michigan, and then him and Tom Brady are really, really close. And Jason was kind of like stepped away from football. Then he came back. He was so talented that he went and Detroit invited him to veteran minicamp, pretty much sight unseen. He just went to the pro day and just stood around. 6'5", 225. I told him I think if he goes to Iowa, he goes and plays a long time in the league. I told him not to go to Michigan because
he went to Michigan.
They pressured him to commit up there because he went to the football camp. Here's the problem: they had Driesbach or whatever his name is. He was a freshman. I said, Jason, you ain't never playing. Dumb Jay. But he came to Nebraska on a visit.
Oh, how about that?
I said, bro, you 6'5", you gonna get chopped down.
We're still running the option. This is happening for you, man.
You gonna come in 6'5", you gonna leave 6'2.5".
Is that what you want to do? That's what
man.
you want to do.
I told Coach Osborne, I said, listen, man, that's the dude I grew up with. That's my boy there, man. Come on.
You're not gonna do him like that.
Yeah. We had a good time on his visit though.
That's the important part, right?
Yeah, his mom ain't talked to me for a while. But we cool. This is Kapsner. I apologize.
You tried to give him good advice at first, so she can't be that mad.
Yeah, but I think when he got off the plane, it looked like he'd been through hell when he got home.
Well, he did get home, and I think that's the important part. Let's go to break. Hour 2 of Old School on the other side.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
Goddamn right.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had roofing service company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing service company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing service company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 9th are 15% off produce, $1 off all drinks, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished flat iron steaks for $12.99 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, this is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you here. Jay, we're still talking about NIL, even during the season. Dan Lanning and Mike Gundy had some fun back and forth. I want to play you a clip from Dan Lanning, his weekly coaches show. He's taking some questions. And Dan Lanning on NIL and Mike Gundy's comments about it. Here's the Oregon head coach.
Yeah, it sounds like there is, listening to him talk. Like I said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy. Ultimately, how blessed are we to be in a place that's invested in winning? If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning. And we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't, right? And ultimately, like, he's a great coach. They've done an unbelievable job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level. And we're really fortunate to be in that situation. So I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea, what they got in their pockets over there. I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they play between these programs.
That last part I thought was kind of funny. Don't think UT Martin has as much as them last week they played. But I think the instructive part was some teams spend to win, others save to have an excuse for when they don't.
Yeah.
And now maybe that's easier for Dan Lanning to say at Oregon, or if Ryan Day had said it, maybe James Franklin, or certainly Kalen DeBoer at this point. We'll get to Alabama in just a second. But that's kind of the motto, I guess, in college football. I think Dan Lanning summed it up really well. If you have money, use it because everyone else is. If you don't have money, find a way to get some money, because no one's going to want the excuse of, oh, we're poor. People are going to tell you can find money somewhere.
Yeah.
So either spend it and try to win, or I see where Dan Lanning's coming from. If you're saving your money, you're just creating an excuse for yourself and your fans.
Yeah, he's about 90% right there. He can easily say that because you got Nike behind you, and Oregon's been way ahead of the curve of NIL and stuff like that, because even when Kevin Thibodeau was there, the defensive end, he said one of the reasons that he didn't go to USC versus Oregon is Oregon essentially promised him a job within Nike, a real job.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially, paying him, and then obviously you end up being, top
really
five
good,
the top 5 pick, and doing really well. I would add on to that, if you're a school that's able to spend money and has the money and doesn't have to worry about the $20.5 million or 22 the year after that, and 25, I think at the max, then you need to spend it. More importantly, I would say, if you're a team that doesn't have the resources, Oregon or Texas Tech or something like that, the biggest thing, spend wisely.
Mm-hmm. Not how much you spend, but how you spend.
Spend it wisely. Don't spend it if they're not worth it. So the teams that don't have, because what he's saying, what he didn't say is Oregon, Texas Tech, they can go out there and miss. It's kind of like Big Bang, like Big Bang take Little Bang. When you play golf against Jordan, he's gonna double the bet until you can't handle it. Either he's not gonna owe you anything, or he's gonna send you to the ATM or to the bank, or have to write a big check. That's the part that he missed. Really, I think, and he doesn't have to worry about that, because he's at the top of majority of every kid's list that they get in contact with. They don't have to well, they do have to evaluate. They want their certain type of player, because he's building it Oregon like a SEC team, and where he's came up, but more importantly, they can afford to miss, and then they can jettison kids off, as they see fit,
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the benefit of where they're at and with their situation. Now, other people's situation is that you can't, if you don't have the finances of Oregon, you just can't be Oregon, but you can be your own version of Oregon, and make sure that you evaluate, develop, spend within your realm, because you'll get more return on your investment. There, in the problem where I think you run into overspend for average players, they continue to do average things, then they become a waste of money. You spend,
and then the next good players, legitimately good players you want to pay, say, look how much better I was than that guy. My price is even more.
And then you got to pay them. Then they end up going to somewhere else anyway. So you got to. It's a hard thing to do because you got to be competitive with your offers and what you're paying because everybody talks. I mean, all these kids could just imagine you're at Oregon or say you're at UCLA, and Oregon wants you and say, I guess in this case, Nebraska or somebody. You could just go and I'm sure all these kids know each other. Hey, are they pretty, lenient or do they spend well at your school or, Nebraska does. So it'd be, say, like another state, Oklahoma State or somebody like that, or like a Kansas State, and so you got to make good decisions financially as far as where you go as a player, but then you got to make really good, prudent decisions as an evaluator, as a head coach, GM, or NIL person.
Do you think that Alabama is closer to the Oregon, Texas Tech camp or to the they have to be frugal camp?
I think Alabama, for another year or two, will still be able to ride we were the most dominant team for the last 20 years for a little while.
I'm just talking about the financials.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So financially, that gives them unforeseen money. You know what I'm saying? So you'll like right now, you could go get a player like a Jay Foreman, and if it is even Steven or within a certain amount of, like I say, like 5 or 10%, they might still go to Alabama based on what other people did before. But realistically, they don't have the type of money. They still do well NIL wise or donation wise, but it can't be that good because a year or two before Nick Saban retired, him and Coach Oates were at a donor event saying we need more money to keep up with Georgia and Texas A&M. The year that Texas A&M got that big class, so they're not Texas Tech. They're really probably good, comfortable. I would probably say, or Nick Saban would probably say, if he was still there, we needed to be better. But sure, DeBoer is worried about other things right now than how much money can he go get guys in the future.
Well, DeBoer's probably worried about keeping money away from Alabama because the more they bring in, the more they have to fire him.
Well, no, because
I'm mostly joking.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's look, when they brought in $75 million that time with Jimbo Fisher, that was your payout, your buyout. Yeah. That was it.
That was all of it.
It was more than that. It was 100,
like 80, something like that.
80
yeah,
or it was maybe
his buyout was 80.
Yeah, but 80. But the check was like 125 or something.
Yeah.
So that was it. So, I mean, when you're in the coaching business, all jokes aside, this is why how you treat people is so important. In and out of the stadium or any out of the offices, the media and their players, and all, it's so important. Chances are you're not going to win at the clip that you would like every year. So you're always going to have to, I wouldn't say call in favors, but you're going to have like some good graces. And so where you think about like DeBoer, he's taking a job. He understands the type of pressure. Jerry Burns told me, look, us coaches, we get hired to get fired.
Yeah.
Philip Fulmer. 2 years after they go to the championship game, they're like, all right, you ain't winning enough.
And he was so mad he ran Greg Schiano out of town.
Oh, the student fan base did.
That was Fulmer.
Yeah. Was it Fulmer?
That was Fulmer.
Oh, it was okay. Well, then Fulmer. Well, because he's probably mad.
He was mad. He wanted in.
Yeah, but
he was behind the scenes of all that.
Yeah, he brought in Derek Dooley, so you ain't you just you stuck. So
I think Derek Dooley's running for Senate in Georgia.
He just says bump coaching.
Yeah.
And he coached like it too.
He did.
Hey, remember when Derek Dooley just took the headset off? Let's do it. Oh shucks. He coached at the Cowboys too, so
did.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think that Alabama's in a weird situation right now. They have a top 4 roster.
And it's to that point. I want to jump off on that.
Yeah.
AJ McCarron went on an SEC podcast and said, you look at these other teams that have $40 to $50 million in NIL, Alabama, and I know this for a fact, talking to multiple people in the program, Alabama has less than $20 million in NIL. Now, Alabama almost all but assuredly is hitting the $20.5 million of rev share.
That was just for the football team he was talking about, right?
I assume
No,
so.
AJ McCarron.
Yes.
Well, he's probably thinking like Texas Tech. Georgia ain't paying that much.
No.
I think
Oregon's probably mid to upper 20s, if I had to guess. But
Ohio State was 20 last year.
Right.
Nobody's doubling that.
no, not in 1 year.
No,
Not like that.
Texas Tech is the outlier, and it'll be interesting to see how well they're evaluating players down there.
TBD. Jury's still definitely
Yeah. They haven't been hit yet. I do understand with AJ McCarron. I actually like. He's actually pretty funny.
But I also think it's believable.
It is
in terms of NIL. You know, rev share they're hitting.
Yeah,
but the NIL separate from it. I actually believe.
There's probably a lot, not a lot, but a higher number than he likes of universities or NIL like companies or whatever associated with certain universities that are doing a lot more on a bigger scale in Alabama.
Mhm.
Some of it is where they're located. Okay, in Alabama.
Mhm.
Some of it is
where other schools are located in major media hubs.
but then also the lack of continuity between the collectives and NILs in the athletic department. You got to think when it first started, Alabama didn't need it as long as they were able to kind of essentially pay players.
Mhm.
NIL wasn't a big thing. They were like, "You're coming here, we're going to pay you respectable amount. We're going to train you to get ready for the NFL because we've probably had $1 billion of contracts over the last however many 10 years, right?" Well, now, because you remember, I think when the NIL first started, like the collectives really started, being out in front. I think it was like a year ago. The guy that headed the Alabama collective, when it first started you started to hear about rev share, he was talking about how hard it was to work with the athletic department
Mhm.
because they were reluctant to use him.
Yeah.
Well, that lets you know that is gone. So that was the biggest guy there. And I think he might have, kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. He wanted to kind of just skirt the rules, whatever it would be. So they're behind there. On top of they don't have the ace in the hole in Nick Saban.
Right.
So they're in a tricky situation because
they're rich, but not maybe top of the sport rich, like you could have banked on, plus the Nick Saban effect that can make up that difference.
And that's the product on the field, the blue chip Alabama presence, Nick Saban, the guys that get drafted and where they get drafted, that they're star players in college and all that. Because you got to think that you had Tua, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, all these guys are either Heisman winners or top picks. You don't really have that now, and in particular, when you're not playing well, so you lose your ace in the hole. The ultimate equalizer is now on ESPN doing college games, or studio analysts, or so they are in a position now to where Nebraska was many years ago,
2003-ish.
Yeah, whenever it started to really dip down. Yeah, exactly, 2003-ish. It's was it the coach at Notre Dame after was it Willingham? Then they went to Davie, right? Remember that? Now Notre Dame was they put the plug in the hole real quick, and they kept going. Or like in Michigan for the short period. Tennessee went through it, not as long, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Now they never had to switch conferences. That's the difference.
Right.
That's the difference for Nebraska versus everybody else. I think.
Well, Josh Heupel doesn't strike me as a national championship type head coach.
Right, but switching conferences for Nebraska at that point in time of college football and the whole landscape made it, and then obviously being able to win 9 games, and then you get to the Big Ten championship, and then so when you get kind of exposed, it kind of really brings you down because now you're comparing to the ultimate height and at your lowest, and there's different factors in there, and so Alabama's in a tricky situation because everybody's focusing on Nick Saban's reign. You should. It's been 17 years or whatever. He has 7 national titles or whatever, or 6 or whatever he has. Before he got there, you're talking about Mike Shula, Price that didn't even get to his first practice, and all them guys.
DuBose.
It was horrible.
At Alabama.
Alabama. And remember when he left the Dolphins to go there, they were like, he needs to just they were saying it might take him 2 or 3 years just to get things in order. Where after the first year, then he got the second year, they got on that, and then obviously, rest is history. But pre-Saban, oof. You got to think for Alabama's history. You got to think you had obviously Bear Bryant, then Gene Stallings, and then a big gap there. But the problem, but the good thing for them is when that big gap was there wasn't this much media attention.
No.
All you had is the article in Tuscaloosa. Nobody cared.
Speaking of studio analysts and small town, nobody cares. Dan Hurley contemplated stepping away from UConn basketball, taking a gap year to be a Fox Sports college basketball analyst. Can you imagine the shockwaves that would have sent through the sport this offseason? Not only did he have the dalliance with the Lakers last offseason, then Kentucky a couple of years ago as well, but a back-to-back national champion, earned an 8 seed this year, still a good year. But Jay, can you imagine the reaction out of stores if after last season, Dan Hurley says, nah, I'm good. I got to step away because I'm burnt out. That would have been like the Urban Meyer of college basketball.
Yeah, that would be horrible. I don't even. I get it being burnout, and maybe that's just something that he needs to get within himself because you got another big season coming on right now.
They'll be better this year. They're scary.
Yeah, they'll be better, but his intensity isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, even when they did that, like I think that ESPN, story on him or whatever, he's like, burnout around here is real because I demand so much.
Yeah.
Well, you just told on yourself. So I don't know. I don't think he would have ever been able to go back.
Not to UConn.
And maybe, but do you have regrets of going back to UConn? Is that why you said it? Because you felt like that you had to burn yourself out to win those back-to-backs and you didn't get it. So it's not, then you feel like it's not worth it. Why would you?
It sounded like because there was an excerpt from his upcoming book that he helped write. And it sounded like, I mean, obviously we know that he's intense, right? He's got his style, right, and that's certainly on the table. But it sounded like it was the back-to-back summers of media obligations on top of the constant recruiting, on top of the NIL and transfer portal. That some of that, that's what the money's for, right? The new day and age of college athletics. And sure, maybe we could do better by our coaches and not burn them out, right? Make a more logical recruiting calendar. But also, dude, you won 2 national championships. Of course, everyone's going to want a piece of you, especially in Storrs, Connecticut, where they're kind of used to this whole winning basketball championships thing on both the men's and the women's side. So yeah, like I get it. I'm not in his shoes, but I kind of understand his plight. But also, dude, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, you're getting $10 million a year in Connecticut. More importantly, I'm not really trying to hear your excuse about recruiting.
Right.
Because you're not recruiting anybody that you don't want. Your list of players every year is very small. You're not having to go.
You got 10 guys.
But you're not. He's not having to go to EYBL Peach Jam or the Adidas, tournament in like North Carolina or New York or something, and try to find your Ja Morant back in the auxiliary gym.
Right.
You don't have to do that. The guys that you are wanting are live on stage, like in those
main gym, seeking you out as well.
Or the portal guys, you've already had your, lines in the water, and you're recruiting the best of the best in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't recruiting. Now your practices and stuff and the media obligations.
That's normal.
That's normal.
Part of the deal.
Yeah. That lets me think like, you know what? He's probably been thinking winning 2 was good enough. Lost a lot of players. Lost a lot of games in his by his standards this year. It was a lot harder.
0-3 in Maui did not sit well.
He took a lot of heat for his antics.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he got somebody did the lip reading. Is like, how you gonna call that? I'm the best coach. All that stuff. I think that wore on him. Big time. I think that manifested over time.
And it's understandable to a degree.
Yeah.
But come on, Dan, chill.
Yeah, you're not getting much empathy over here.
No, nor should you. Let's go to break. Evan Blandy of the Omaha World Herald's our guest on the other side.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 9th are 15% off produce, $1 off all drinks, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished flat iron steaks for $12.99 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's. I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers, crinkle-cut fries with Texas toast. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have it today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're rolling right along here on Old School. I'm Austin Norman. We're headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Big shout out to our friends at Allo, the official internet provider of the Huskers as well. We are joined on that VIP line by Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, who did indeed make it back from Kansas City through the concrete jungle and the mess of cars and all. Evan, was the trip as brutal for you and the World Herald crew as it seemed like it was for everyone else?
Yeah, we were part of that crowd heading down and back, to be honest. I mean, going down was a little more congested for sure, but it's amazing what happens when like a 50-foot stretch of bridge is closed to one lane and how far back some of the traffic went. But, it was just a constant reminder of the passion of Nebraska fans and what they thought about that game and everything that went into it. So hindsight might have left a little earlier, taken a different path, but again, just a reminder of what a big deal a lot of people saw that game to be, and ultimately probably that traffic would have irked a few more folks if the result had been different.
Result is a 20-17 Nebraska win, of course. And let me just ask this, Evan, just kind of broad spectrum, big picture here. Did Nebraska look in week one the way you expected them to? Did the Huskers meet your expectations? Did it look like same old Nebraska, or like this was a program that took another step in the right direction over the offseason?
Well, I thought there were elements that were sort of what we expected. I mean, we went into this season for weeks and months talking about the defensive line and how that could look, and they struggled with stopping the run at times, especially with the mobile quarterback on the other side. And you heard from Matt Rule and coaches this week saying maybe some of the pursuit angles weren't the best. The effort was good, but maybe the speed could have been better. I think that's probably one area where there was a sense of what that might be. I think offensively, the thing we kept hearing from Dana Holgerson was routine play, and that bore out at Arrowhead too, where you have Dylan Raiola completing 78% of his passes, no turnovers, but not a lot of deep chances downfield either. So a lot of that I think we saw coming and have talked about for a while. You'd like some more explosive plays. You'd like a little bit of running back depth. It's pretty clear that Emmett Johnson's the guy, and you'd love to keep him healthy all season. 35 touches a game is probably not going to be sustainable over the course of a full season, but you have that. And I think a lot of the other things maybe that people wrung their hands about are things that Nebraska will iron out in the next couple of weeks when you're talking about finding a left tackle or, receiver production, especially talking about longer plays. I think those things will start to come as things move along. But yeah, it's kind of a mix. Things that Nebraska kind of probably knew in advance, and then some things that pop up during the game that now they're going to have this week to correct, and quite honestly, a couple more weeks to correct before they get into Big Ten play.
That was going to be the next sort of question. How long do you give Nebraska to figure out who its starting left tackle is going to be consistently, who the backup running backs are going to be? And if there are more explosive plays in this team, do you give them through the non-conference? Do you give them till the first bye week? When would be your point of concern for, hey, Nebraska's still got these questions, they might be moving from questions into concerns?
Yeah, I think the non-con would be probably the cleanest way to do it. I mean, you've heard kind of the comparison before of non-conference games to kind of like the NFL preseason a little bit, where, at the professional level, you have 3 or 4 chances to iron things out and see what you have and how do guys respond and who's on the back end of your 53-man roster, kind of your 2 deep. And Nebraska's working through a lot of that. I mean, they practiced for more than a month. They had a long off season, but they needed to see how guys responded in games. I think this next 2 weeks, really one of the themes is going to be about the depth. So who gets going behind Emmett Johnson? In all likelihood, you're not going to need him to carry a heavy workload. So what can Quentin Ives do, or Isaiah Mosey, or Mekhi Nelson? Like what does that next level look like? How do you replace Janarin Bonner and the blocking presence and physical ability that he brought? Like, is that Carter Nelson? Is that Heinrich Harburg? Is that something else? So like, that's something that they're going to have to figure out. You're going to have to look at, you're probably going to want to see some explosive plays from your receivers. You're going to want to see your defensive line stop the run and get after the quarterback. And so I think those are things expect to see against an Akron team that you're favored by 34.5 points against, and probably something pretty similar against Houston Christian. And then you turn into the Big Ten, where you're going to be playing a lot of close games against teams that have just as much financial backing to their roster as Nebraska does. And it becomes about the margins and making a play here or there. And so we saw that against Cincinnati. I think that's probably the most encouraging part, is that in a lot of ways, Nebraska is the same team that it was last year, but it's finding ways to win a game late. I mean, it made a play down the stretch that won them the game instead of lost it for them. So I think these next couple of weeks just are about finding a rhythm, finding who can you trust, who do you think can make plays, and then the guys that do in those games get a chance against Michigan, and then it's really all hands on deck to see how that thing plays out, because that Michigan game is absolutely a chance to change the perception of where the program's headed nationally. It's a chance to get off on the right foot in league play, and obviously you have a bye after that, and you can still figure things out, of course. But I think the most pressing stuff you have to iron out here in the next 2 weeks on the way to victories, and then you've got to be ready to go and know what you want to do against Michigan.
We're talking with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. I really liked what John Butler had to say about the next play mentality, especially for a guy like Malcolm Hartzog, who really got tested throughout the game against Cincinnati. Been an up and down tenure at Nebraska for him. Some of it due to, his issues, some of it due to going back and forth between positions. But I thought it was a nice moment of self-reflection from John Butler, who even said, sometimes he gets caught up in, not necessarily abiding by that next play mentality. Man, I should have called that. What if I was more aggressive here? I really like John Butler's answer about Malcolm Hartzog, his persistence, and how, even a lesson from a player can stick with a coach like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can bet that was among the first things that the coaches showed the team this week. And I mean, you just think about that drive at the end there. Cincinnati's going down the field, and they have a 4th and 7 near midfield, and it was the completion to Hartzog's guy that kept it going. And then he had the defensive hold, and he shook it off and made a great play right at the end to seal that thing. One-handed play, kind of baited the throw from Brendan Sorsby a little bit and went out and did it. And what a testament to everything you're talking about, where maybe a play doesn't go your way. You don't let that one play turn into 2 or 3 or 4 that beat you. And so, yeah, I mean, I also appreciated John Butler's answer to that. I think sometimes it's easy for fans and media folks to just kind of think that coaches are robots and kind of get, into their own rhythm. But I appreciated hearing that sometimes that affects him too, and other coaches, and that can be a reminder for them as well. And again, like, I'll just say, like, this is a schedule. It's on paper easier than a schedule Nebraska's played in recent years, but like, you can expect a bunch of games to come down to the wire, similar to what we just saw with Cincinnati. I mean, the Big Ten's deep, it's resourced. Every week you're going to see games that are decided by a turnover here, a field goal there, a missed tackle, or whatever it might be. And so, yes, you want to be the team that makes those plays, but part of that is exactly what we're talking about, where you can't let one gut punch snowball into 2 or 3. You have to shake it off move on to that next play. And maybe that's one of the values of culture that we talk about in the off season. And if that can be part of your culture, part of your team DNA, where that next play, you forget about the last one, you move right on to the next. I mean, that's the kind of thing that can flip multiple games and really lead to the kind of season Nebraska's been looking for.
The other interesting thing I thought that John Butler said at the top of my list from his Tuesday presser was about Riley Van Poppel. Of course, he was asked about him, so it's not like John Butler brought this up out of the blue. But the first thing he said was, we got to make sure that, Riley is playing as hard as he thinks that he's playing. And then, of course, you go on to add the caveat, well, that goes for all of our guys. We still don't really know as much about how John Butler communicates in the media as Matt Rule does. That came from Matt Rule. I would almost wonder if that was a challenge to a guy who's clearly viewed as a leader in the team, right? Single-digit guy, despite the red shirt last year, not a lot of experience. Clearly, the team views him as a leader enough to give him that single digit. If it was from Matt Rule, I think it was a challenge. Did you sense that John Butler was challenging Riley Van Poppel to step up as a leader? Or is that more of a calling out from John Butler, like, hey, dude, pick it up. Our defensive line clearly needs you.
Yeah, I from what we know about Butler from really his time at Nebraska, he's hesitant to talk about any player specifically. And we saw that again with the Riley Van Poppel answer where he wanted to make it more general. But, I mean, you just look at the snap counts and the amount of time that he was on the field, I would say it was a little bit less than what you would have expected from a guy who's a single digit and somebody who's been in the program for a couple of years, and just the state of the offensive line or the defensive line in general. Like, you would think that maybe that workload would be a little bigger. I guess I just kind of go back to what Matt Rule and Butler have said, which was the defense played with a lot of effort, but it needs to play maybe with a little bit more speed. And specific to that defensive line, I mean, I thought what Butler said resonates with a lot of fans, where you say, yeah, we just want linemen that go, react, diagnose it quickly. Is it a runner? Is it a pass? And get after it. Like, it's not a thinking man's position. It's not a spot where you want to be tentative, like be convicted in what you're going to do. And so it's certainly not saying that Van Poppel's not talented or he's not a leader or whatever. But I think sometimes, especially after that first game, you have guys that care so much about doing it right that it almost slows them down a little bit because they don't want to make a mistake. And so I think that's what Butler's saying. That's what Matt Rule has said, is like, trust what you've done in the offseason, trust your preparation, and then just go out there and let your physical abilities take over. And so you talk about improvement from week 1 to week 2. I think that's one spot I'll absolutely be watching here against Akron and beyond. Is going to be, can that defensive line move a little faster? Can it gum up the running lanes? Can it get after the quarterback maybe in ways that we haven't seen? And I think some of that does come down to what Cincinnati did. Nebraska's not going to see a lot of mobile quarterbacks like that. But I think if you can see a little bit more conviction, a little bit more explosiveness off that line, you're going to see Van Poppel out there probably more than we did last Thursday.
Nebraska, Akron, 6:30 on Saturday. Covering it all for the Omaha World Herald, it is Evan Bland, our guest on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Evan, as always, appreciate your time on a Wednesday afternoon. We will see you on the 6th floor on Saturday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Austin.
Once again, Evan Blaine joining us on our Aloe Fiber VIP line. Aloe Fiber takes great care of us here at the station. I'm an Aloe subscriber. They do a fantastic job for me and my family. Oh, and by the way, they are the official internet provider of the Huskers as well. Good enough for them, ought to be good enough for you. Cannot more highly recommend the great people and the great service from Aloe. We'll go to break, bring Jay Foreman back in to wrap up hour 2 of Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Break out the Lederhosen and raise a stein. Oktoberfest is this Friday at Kincaidor in the Haymarket. Music and food service start at 4 p.m. and the party goes on through the night. Expect cold beer, German eats, and all the Bavarian fun you can handle at Oktoberfest this Friday night at Kincaidor in the Haymarket.
Need a tractor that works as hard as you do? Whether you're baling hay or feeding cattle, a John Deere 6M or 6R from Landmark Implement is built to handle it all. And right now, you can get 0% fixed rate financing for up to 72 months on new in-stock models. That's 6 years with zero interest on the tractor your operation depends on. Hurry into your local Landmark Implement or visit landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Lost Norman J. Foreman with you. Thanks again to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald for some of his time. This segment of the show brought to you, as always, by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Just recently rebranded from Love Volleyball Omaha. You can renew your season tickets or secure yours for the first time by visiting lovb.com. That makes sure that you get your chance to watch Olympians, national team players, and former Huskers all take the court for Love Volleyball Nebraska. We talked a little bit of college basketball. It's the first day of the fall recruiting period. Nebraska's coaches, a handful of them at least, ended up at Waukee Northwest to check in on 2026 recruit Colin Rice, top 100 guy already committed to the Huskers. But Jay, this popped, I would say, last night and or this morning.
Yep.
Of course, the recruiting period starts at midnight. As soon as it's September 3rd, the period is open. Well, last night at midnight, both Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey showed up at the house of top 15 overall recruit Tay Kinney. You got recruited. What would you do if coach showed up at your house at midnight for an in-home visit?
Oh, in-home visit?
Yeah, in-home visit. They are at this dude's front door, and their pictures in Tay Kinney's living room.
Oh, no, we got to get on the game. We got to get on the game. What are we talking about at midnight?
What's up?
Yeah,
just checking in.
Yeah, we're getting
We still cool?
Yeah. How long can they be at your house for?
Ooh, that I don't know. But the fact that both of them, I mean, both.
They had to know. They had to inform him about that, right?
Oh, they had to.
Yeah.
Does it mean something if you take one first, take one second? Like, what if you're with Mark Pope for an hour? Does he feel any obligation to leave? Is he trying to stick around?
He's probably trying to stick her. He's trying to wear the other dude out. Supposed to be out of there at 1. You don't leave. Oh man, I lost track of time.
Oh, sorry, Pat.
Sorry about that.
But not really.
Yeah, I'm gonna head on back to the hotel, man.
See you there.
Yeah, he seems a little tired though, but he's waiting for you. Yeah, that's tough right there.
I just can't imagine wanting a player so desperately as a coach to show up at his house at midnight. Top 15 in the class.
Yeah, that could be.
But regardless, I mean, I don't know if I would have shown up at Cooper Flagg's house at midnight.
Yeah, I don't think it'd sway him. I mean, Kentucky, you don't even have to do this.
No.
But Mark Pope is trying to do it differently. But I think I wouldn't have done it
unless he has to do it.
Yeah,
if everyone else is doing it and he feels like he has to. But see, the normal thing to do is what Nebraska did. Go to the kid's high school the next day.
Yeah.
Not that hard, but you have to show up at his house at midnight?
Yeah.
That's too far for me.
I wouldn't have done that. And definitely would have tried to get him at his high school and get him after, because really that first day, he's probably going to get a ton of texts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the one that sticks in his mind, later the next day or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, you would guess that since both Mark Pope and Pat Kelsey showed up, that Tay Kinney would be a player out of the state of Kentucky, would you not?
You would like to think so.
He's in Atlanta. He's at Overtime Elite. Not that Atlanta's a far trip necessarily from Kentucky.
They don't go to school.
They didn't go to school, play school. Correct.
Yeah, so.
But I'm just saying, you can still show up to Overtime Elite the next day and accomplish the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's not like he's just down the block. He just happened to pop in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. You better commit.
Number 1 overall player in Georgia, number 1 point guard, now number 12 nationally in the 24/7.
You're gonna end up like your boy Dan Lanning, jump in that pool with that dude, and that dude decommitted like 2 weeks later.
Harbaugh also did some weird stuff in Michigan. Wasn't he the one that's like climbing the tree?
Yeah, that's him though.
Like, come on. At some point, if you're a recruit, okay, yeah, this guy clearly wants me to play for him, but that's crossed the line. This is too far. Like, at this point, it's just weird.
Is your parents up that late?
If it's an in-home visit, I would at least have mom or dad up, unless, again, he's in Atlanta playing for Overtime Elite. Are mom and dad even there?
Yeah, that wouldn't fly in my house.
What would Chuck Foreman have done if a coach showed up at your house?
I mean, if he knew my dad would be up, but he wouldn't get the best version of Chuck. That wouldn't have worked out well. It wouldn't have worked. Oh my God, that just wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have been. That would not have been a good scene. That would have been a wasted trip.
So good thing they didn't do it then.
Yeah.
We'll go to break. We'll have hour 3 of Old School on the other side.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197. Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100, or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have it today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, third hour? Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. A lot going on. Obviously, we had a really good, hopefully you guys will be able to go back and see it. Black Shirt Breakdown, the Whiteboard Wednesday, that was actually brought back some memories, but then also, good teaching moments for, down there in Chapel Hill. I'm sure they're fixing it as we speak. But we hadn't really dove into a lot of Husker talk. Obviously, the Cincinnati game, considering it was last Thursday, almost a week ago, tomorrow has been sliced and diced and dissected. And, obviously we had a little bit of audio yesterday. And hopefully by Wednesday, people are officially on to Akron. And what that means on to Akron is one, obviously, Cincinnati's in the back of your mind with the W, and whatever needs to be worked on, you want, your team to work on it. But from a fan's perspective, we want you at the text line to text in. What would you guys like to see besides the obvious? Obvious is a 48-0 victory, so forth and so on. Hopefully you guys have learned a little bit over the numerous times that we've talked about the different, real details, the minute details of what, lead to big plays and the difference between learning how to win and winning. And then obviously going to the next level. What are you guys looking forward to see Saturday night at 6:30 when Nebraska takes on Akron at home to give you the, the pause to sleep a little bit better, even though you slept pretty well, even though, it was a hard drive back to Kansas City. Sure, people slept well. Austin, I'll go first. I said, probably for me, for Nebraska, obviously winning and all this stuff is, that's a guarantee. I just think that just want them to, just say, okay, I can see the, a jump from week 1 to week 2. And that's in all three phases. I did, special teams, I thought, did a good job. Anytime you hit a 51-yard field goal, 3 punts inside the 10, I think, or at least 2 for sure. Not a lot of yards in coverage, did pretty decent in, other stuff. Defensively, obviously, you probably just want to clean up, some things, but I felt like on the back end, you were pretty good and really played like some senior-led, defensive back groups. And offensively, you had, probably left a little meat on your bone. And so what you want to see them just, take a big jump from week 1 to week 2 in all three phases and obviously with the victory and then obviously a pretty sizable victory in hand.
Yeah. I'll just go to the text line, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff there already. So Brad says no shot Nebraska covers. 34.5 point favorites right now. So
what do you think?
I'm just going to get to that. Let's say the line sticks at 34.5. What if Nebraska wins 34-0 and they score a touchdown in all 4 quarters? And they hold Akron beneath 300 total yards, just like they did Cincinnati. Going to be pretty hard to complain about that performance. Yes, it's been far too long since Nebraska's rolled up 70 on someone. I think it was Idaho or Idaho State a while ago. They got 70, and we're all expecting fireworks from the Dana Holgorsen offense. That would be fantastic if Nebraska were to flex that muscle, prove that they got it in them, no matter the caliber of opponent. But Nebraska can play a good, clean, solid 34-3, 37-3, whatever, Brad, since, yes, the last time Nebraska shut someone out was the Holiday Bowl, the Nebraska's back and we're here to stay game against Arizona. But, so, yes, it's been a while since Nebraska's shut someone out. It's been a while since Nebraska's rolled up 70, and both of those would be fantastic. But if fans are really going to be on here complaining that Nebraska, they didn't cover the spread, they didn't win by enough, and it's 37-3 or 34-0, and Nebraska feels in control, they score on their first drive, maybe they score on their second drive before they punt, they put up 14 points, they're up 14-0 after the first quarter. Again, purely hypothetical, but they put it in cruise control essentially. and keep extending the lead, good. Sure, maybe they didn't cover the spread. Yes, it's a big spread, bigger than, Husker fans are probably used to seeing in Nebraska's favor. But that's not the point. The point is, how good do you look? And can you look that good consistently for 4 quarters against a team that shouldn't put up much resistance in the way of you looking good for 4 quarters?
Yeah, I think Nebraska needs to blow these cats, move out of the water. And
These kangaroos.
Yeah, whatever. The zips. They need, but they need to blow these dudes out. And the reason why I say that, it would be good, even if it's 35, 38 nothing, 38-3 or 41.
41-10 with the late touchdown like UTEP.
Because most likely they have, scored consistently, and they've had other guys besides Dylan Raiola, Emmett, and all the starters play. So that lets you know that the depth is starting to develop. Versus where you looked at the Wyoming game, I think it was 10-0. That was the starters the whole game. So, you really can see some separation, or Nebraska trying to inch towards, being a team that's in the consideration for, top 30, 35, and then obviously top 20 if you can really, put a whooping on these guys.
Derek in the car, I want to see the 2s and 3s get meaningful snaps. Special teams continue to improve. Rosebud from Elmwood, a relentless defensive front pursuit on the ball and pressure in the backfield. No sacks for Nebraska against Brendan Sorsby. Yeah, just get on the board with sacks. If this is a defensive line, Jay, that's young, that's still improving, working together, good way to, quell some of those concerns is to get in the backfield. Be active, take it personal that people are questioning your performance. Go out and be the reason that Nebraska shuts down Akron.
Yeah, I think at D-line, you just want to try to punish this guy. And obviously I think that they have a better chance to get sacks in bunches. It's kind of like when defenses get interceptions, they come in bunches. Because, just like getting interceptions, that means the defensive line is playing well. Getting sacks, that means the second and third level are executing at a high level. And that's what you want to do. Well, if you start covering people down and the quarterback's sitting back there too comfortable, then you need to, be a little bit concerned. And obviously a running quarterback and the way he was able to, Sorsby, that means that, manipulate the defense and make some big time runs. Obviously he's an eyesore, but this quarterback doesn't run. More importantly, when you get a chance to get these guys in second and long, third and long, where it's obviously passing downs, you got to get home. One also thing I want to warn Husker fans, you will get their best shot Saturday night. You will get their best offensive output because Joe Moorhead is an offensive coach. He will be working diligently to scheme up some things and really harp on the execution, because if you go back and look at the Wyoming game that they played last week, they had plenty of opportunities to extend drives and then obviously plenty of opportunities to score. So they feel like they just got to get better at some of the small things that will lead to big things. So if you think that Akron's going to come in here and just lay down, you'll be sadly mistaken. I still think Nebraska will beat them. I do think Nebraska will cover, even though I'm not a gambler. I definitely think they can win by 35 points. I definitely think it's an opportunity for them to have a huge day, special teams wise, and all 3 phases or all 4, core special teams groups, which I think could lead to some more easier scoring opportunities.
Does Nebraska need to blow Akron out, or would it be nice for Nebraska to blow Akron out?
A little bit of both. I mean, I think they need to do it just because, they have the ability to. So it's kind of like the maturity of like, hey, let's go out there and handle business like we know we can and should, right? Because we are a better team than them. So they need to do it, for the more mental. And then the other one is just, you could have the starters in there and be up 28-31-0 and put the rotational guys in there, second and third team, sometimes fourth. And if you're up 31-0 and you end up winning 38-10, are you really, saying that Nebraska didn't handle their business, where you have the starters after 3 quarters, 31 points? Akron hadn't done tiddly-poo defensively. You put the backups in or whatever you want to call them. Then all of a sudden now you only have a 21-point victory. You can't really hang your hat on that. These next 2 weeks are huge because not only do you need to go out and perform well at home before the Michigan game, but also you got to show and display the maturity of dealing with success, which is the win at Kansas City. Had some time off. So you really got double the pats on the back, and I call it getting your belly rubbed, right? And then now you got to go perform Saturday night, which the atmosphere should be crazy because it's a night game. And you come back against Houston Christian at 11:30 or 11, which is an early game. So you have to show the maturity of being able to play early, right?
Well, 3 weeks in a row, 4 weeks in a row, you'll play it 4 different times.
Right.
8, 6:30, 11, and 2:30.
Right. So you got to answer the bell. So anywhere, anytime, any place. That's got to be your mantra and your mindset. That right there is as important as the scoreboard. You start looking at the scoreboard and start judging off of that. You're really losing yourself and really what's most important.
And I'm sure plenty of coaches have said this. A couple of my coaches always said, play to a standard, not a scoreboard.
Yep.
If you play to your standard, the scoreboard more than likely will take care of itself to whatever degree. I want to go after this text, go to this text from Phil. This team won't cover because they don't know how to cover a spread. It's been far too long since this team has won decisively. And what I mean by that is putting their foot on the throats of their opponents. This whole team, from players to coaches, do not know what it is to close out a game in a decisive fashion. Let me take you back to UTEP last year when Nebraska and UTEP were tied at 7 after the first quarter. Nebraska goes on a 33-0 run to end the game, including a 23-point second quarter. Pretty decisive to me, and I can hear the text coming in already. Well, that's UTEP. They weren't very good. I mean, that's a mid-major program. That's group of 5. Does that really count? To which I would say, you have a point. Yes, Nebraska does need to start doing that to Power 4 teams sooner than later. And that, to me, Jay, is why I think it's so important for Nebraska to make the margin as big as it can against Akron and Houston Christian, and then learn the right lesson from it. Let's say Nebraska, we had someone here say it needs to be like 59-7. Let's say Nebraska puts up back-to-back 59-7 wins. Again, purely hypothetical, not putting any money on that or anything. Hypothetically, Nebraska goes 59-7 over Akron, 59-7 over Houston Christian. The easy thing to do is say, oh yeah, we're good, we're fine, everything's clicking, everything's rolling. Michigan doesn't know what's going to hit it. What this team and program needs is a decisive win like that to spark some of that confidence. Because think about all the questions we're asking. Oh, do they have it in them? Oh, is Dana really enough? Oh yeah, Dylan's a highly rated recruit, but they're still, not averaging more than 23 points a game with him in control. What's the point? It's not going to be easy when Michigan comes to town. But if this team can win a couple games big, feel good about its process offensively, make enough big plays to where they're feeling, number 1, good about themselves, number 2, confident in their abilities, and number 3, focused enough to know that it's not going to be this easy against Michigan, but I know that we have this in us and we can score with the best of them. That's got to be on the table for this team because, yes, there is a next step for them to take. You take that step first and foremost against a team like Akron when you have the opportunity and then parlay that into quote-unquote bigger name opponents.
Yeah. I mean, you got a point there, and you're definitely right, but I'm going to add on to it and flip another question to the text line. Okay, so let's just say you win 59-7, but you play the same way you did against Cincinnati. Say you do it for 2 weeks in a row, 59-7, 57-7, and you become so punch drunk on the score versus, right, you win, let's just say 41-10, 31-10 the next 2 weeks, but you execute better, you block better, you really essentially just say you run the same plays you ran against Cincinnati, but
crisper, cleaner, better.
You do a really good job of breaking tackles, yards after catch, and you're better at turning some of Emmett's runs, from a 3-yard gain to a 6 or 7 yard gain. And maybe you have less plays, but your efficiency is way up. Which one do you want? I'll take the latter. Because
the standard, not the scoreboard.
Because I'll be more ready to play against Michigan because I know my technique, my mindset, my execution, and efficiency are trump tight. Versus, say, like you just, you're playing against, Akron comes out and they're just not really that good. And because here's why I say this: competition matters, execution is more important. I remember talking to, I think, Scott Frost one time, and he was talking about playing in that league when they, had the really, really good season, undefeated season. He's like, it was crazy. He said they were playing South Florida one time. They had a 60, 70-yard touchdown. He's like, we had 6 busts on offense. He's like, that's how bad they were. So it's hard to, so I guess what I'm saying is you want to make sure you keep their attention. You keep being able to push them to do better at the little things, that you can make the little things look spectacular. And then you let the results be the results, because the results will be actually better when you do it the right way, because that will last.
Phil chimes in, 23 points in the second quarter against UTEP, and then what? They just take their foot off the gas every time. I think that's the coach's way, just to get conservative and not actually beat a team like they should. Number one, when you're up 30-7 at halftime over UTEP, you don't have to necessarily get exotic. I would guess that UTEP starters last year were probably around Nebraska's backups in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
Now they had a couple all-conference guys there. And, I'm not saying, I'll move on to the point. Like Matt Rule said, he expects every game to be 17-16. Nebraska is not going to score on every drive. Name me a team that scores on every drive against an opponent. It doesn't happen. Nebraska is not going to execute at 100%. Nebraska is not going to score 100% of all the points available to it.
Yeah.
Against a team like Akron, hypothetically, again, if Nebraska is where we think they should be at halftime, they should get boring. They should get bland. They should get vanilla. And Nebraska is not so overwhelmingly physically talented that they'll be able to score on every play that's halfback draw, halfback dive up the middle.
Yeah,
they're not that good. I mean, even if Akron is pretty bad, we think, Nebraska's not that good to just physically take over and dominate that game like Husker fans want. So, yes, it should be easier, but Nebraska still has plenty to prove. Let's say they do get down to the 2s, into the 3s. Guys, in their first real extended action, if you get points from your backups and you're up, 35-7, 35-3, whatever, that's gravy.
Yeah.
Because your starters accomplished what they needed to. They go into the next week feeling good, and then it's just an open practice for those other guys.
Yeah, I mean, you want to, do what you have to do. And sure, and that's where I think people let their expectations, which are led by emotion, get into what they're saying. I prefer the standard. The standard will lead to many more realistic and tangible blowouts than expectations based on, because and this is nothing wrong with having expectations and standards, and there's a thin line between either one of them, so they kind of mean the same. Is that, like I said, you get punch drunk by the score and trying to compare yourself to how Wyoming beat them, or another team that you view that you're equal as, what they do against lower level opponents. You can look at what Indiana did last year, blah blah blah, and you can get caught up in all that stuff, and you have forgot about what school you're cheering for, what school you're playing at, or whatever school you're talking about. So, I think they're both in the same. They got to go out there and earn it. This isn't a game where you just, I want to see, really more importantly, is just show it up with the mentality of, we've dealt with some success, we won, which is my version of success. We had a lot of work to do and clean up, during the week, and then now I'm going to show you that we've taken, realistic and tangible steps to go do so, and the points will come.
If you play to the standard, if you do the right thing, time after time.
Yeah. And then, it's a good thing and a bad thing that you're worried about how many points Nebraska's going to score. I think it's also a little bit getting over your skis, is because you're trying to go from 0 to 100, and there is a process to it. So just respect the process. It starts where you're at, and then you got to keep, improving on it each week. If you walk away from a game, I always say this: Nebraska's fan base, or people that talk about the Nebraska, in a lot of ways, rightfully so, based on what's happened in the past, generally get in there. As my analogy is, you get in your car, you drive all the way down here to downtown. You got a 6:30 p.m. movie that you're going to, and you've already before the movie started, you've already written your Rotten Tomatoes review of the movie. That's already there. Now it is hard to forget, some of the losses in the past, or who didn't do a good job, or what other team. I get it. It is natural, right? You fight it all the time, especially in basketball. That's all people do, and when baseball parents do too. They look on Game Changer. They look on Turning Machine. Oh, well, we played them. We played this team. We beat that team by 10, and then they beat the team that we're going to play in 2 games by 20. So that's the game off. Well, then next thing you know, you in a dogfight coming down the stretch in a 3-possession game in basketball, and they're in the double bonus. So now you're really up back against the wall. Versus, You just say, okay, I'm playing so-and-so at this time. I'm going to show up and do what we got to do, and we're going to do it even better than we did the week before. We know we're going to win, and it's just a matter of how we're going to win. That's the change in mentality. And it's hard to get to because of the amount of BS that's there. That's
because it's the easy thing to do is say if Nebraska doesn't win by 40, not
and that's
good
why
enough.
you got your boy Brad. But my man Brad said, I've seen this movie 100 times. True. But Brad, it's like we gonna keep watching it. I keep watching Star Wars. I've seen it 100 times. It gets better and better.
Insightful dude. I really like the idea of the early first game and having the extra couple practice days between week 1 and 2. Hope to see improvement everywhere. 0874. I would rather have a 21-point lead in for Akron not to score than cover the spread. John wants to see fewer than 100 yards rushing allowed. That's pretty difficult to do, but that's a goal.
Look, man, this is all hands on deck. Listen, if I'm a guy that's not starting, y'all better go play this good this week. I got my family coming. You better go play. I need to get in the game. Because, look, everybody's got to get in where they fit in. This is we have to do well.
I'll play wingman where you're on the field.
We all get paid. We're all getting paid. I need to go earn my paycheck. Listen, this is equivalent of Wednesdays when I played and I was a red shirt and they had that 20 play scrimmage. It's on. You guys go do your practice. Once practice is over, this is a bloodbath. We are going to
now it's the real time.
This is the real game. We are going to annihilate each other, and I got to play good. So there was a few practices that I just said I let Quinn Holgrave get some reps in there. I got to save myself. No, they need to go out there and play. I think the you have to really hyper focus this week and really show your competitive nature to go out there and do what you're supposed to do. That's the most important thing.
Kip says, I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's just be Iowa on caffeine the next 2 games, then go from there.
Hey, you don't want to be Iowa next game. They in for a dogfight here in a few days.
There was an interesting article on The Athletic. Who would you rather be right now? Iowa in the Big 10 or Iowa State in the Big 12? Iowa's got all the money, and you just got to finish 4th in the conference, essentially, to get in. Versus Iowa State, you have a chance to win the conference every year, but if you don't, you're probably out.
I think it's easier for the Big 12 now, considering how they've been playing. You don't necessarily have to win it. You got to be at least in the championship game. But I think the SEC is going down.
Funny how that happens when everyone can start paying players.
Down. You ever see that guy when Buffalo was about to play Dallas Cowboys? Talking about they're going down, baby. Well, Dallas Cowboys dug up in Buffalo. But I just think I'd probably rather be Iowa State. I think they strike them out of enough fear in the opposing teams, knowing that every year in and year out, they're going to be competitive. Iowa, it's kind of with the 4 teams that come in, you're not better than Washington. You probably are, but are you really? Definitely don't have more cachet than USC, and definitely not on the Oregon's level. So now you go down a couple more notches, and you still don't got a quarterback.
Still. I wonder how much of that was jitters and how much of that was Iowa dragging him down, because you and I both agree. Like, Gronowski's a dude. That's a borderline NFL guy. And you look that bad.
Yeah. Oh, who was he throwing to?
There is that.
The guys that he looked like he was throwing to on the internet, they did not look like they could play at Seacrest Field, a.k.a. Aaron Davis University.
One of their guys, I think it was Vander Zee, I think, is out with a foot injury.
Yeah,
but still.
They don't have any. I'm against Iowa. We don't even look over here. We're just rolling it, man to man. Up, and we're playing press man all game long.
Beat us.
Yeah.
Dare you.
Yep, and we're just gonna mix up everything on defense.
You say 8 in the box, 9 in the box.
If they have a tight end, one tight end, do they just come out in a regular pro formation with fullback or 11, 12 personnel? We locking up man to man all game long.
We got numbers. What are you gonna do?
We're gonna have the smallest play sheet ever in college football history. Cover 1. Cover 1.
Yeah. Tackle him. Cover 1, tackle him.
You know what I would do just to throw a little curveball at him?
Cover 3.
I would do cover 2, and I would say, we're going to guard their tight end man to man because that's the only dude that probably just confuse him. It felt like Jamin Wright. You travel with the tight end. You got him, man. Everybody else play cover 2.
Cover 2, but we're going to roll the safety down into the box. So actually, it's cover 1.
Yeah. Big Bird says, Euler said he's using his sideline passes. Expect to see his son get some playing time. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Jeremy in Lincoln says that if they get up big, do you bench Emmett Johnson? Sure. You got to get the other guys ready. Quentin Ives, they said he got to play.
Back.
He's back. Fresh
Nelson,
legs.
Nosey.
Yeah, you got to get him in there. Heck, you might even get your boy from Wahoo.
Connor Shoot.
No. Booth.
Oh, Connor Booth. That's right.
Yeah. Because you can play 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of pressure on the senior dudes this week. I believe you better play good. You better play good.
You was 45 minutes of game time.
Yeah.
You're killing.
Just do what you need to do and be done by half. But I've done that a couple of times in basketball. Then all of a sudden the other team starts shooting threes. Like, dang. These dudes been sitting over here 8 minutes. I put them back in the game. No, I gotta just
you ride it out.
Yeah. It's the part of growing up, man. I think it's just part. Look, I will say this before we go to break. When Dabo Swinney won his 2nd national title, when they were in non-conference, there was a couple games that were closer than what people liked. And he said at the end of the season, obviously, he's like, look, everybody was giving us grief, but they didn't understand I was playing a lot of guys to develop the depth. Because he's like, I knew late in the season I needed. And obviously one of their backup players ended up making a pretty big play in the championship game. So you got to get guys in there. You got to provide depth, but you can't do that unless the guys that are the starters or the main rotational players handle their business. And so there's much to be done in the work department. And let's hopefully they've done it. So we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Hi, I'm Eli Barnes, Assistant Vice President at Midwest Bank at the 70th and Pioneers and 27th Jamie Lane locations. I love working with families and small businesses right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Banking shouldn't be complicated, and that's why we make it personal. Whether it's opening your child's first account or securing a loan for your next big step, I'm here to help. Stop in today and say hello. I'd love to meet you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today. At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, second segment before we turn it over to Bill Michener and Lighthouse. And always enjoy seeing him and all of the stuff that he brings from the Lighthouse. Mississippi Mud Dog go through a couple texts. He said we blew out Wisconsin last year.
That to me was probably the most recent example of Nebraska putting a team away because they went score for score with them.
Yeah.
How many times would Nebraska get up, other team scores to get back in the game? Nebraska doesn't have that drive to re-extend the lead. That's a good example. You know, it wasn't perfect, but when Wisconsin answered, Nebraska generally had an answer back, and they always kept them essentially at arm's length.
And they did a little bit of dagger in the heart, and they got over the mental hurdle of Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin came in with probably, I think, 2 or 3 of their defensive players hurt, so that showed a little bit of, you know, maturity that you can take advantage of their weakness because it is competitive sports. You got to do what you got to do. But also in the back of everybody's mind was, okay, it's Wisconsin. They're coming off of a great moral victory against Oregon. Essentially, they had a chance to win it, a la kind of Nebraska, Ohio State, and really stood toe-to-toe with Oregon and come down here even with a little bit of guys dinged up and do the total Wisconsin thing of upsetting Nebraska or beating Nebraska at home and then put a ton of pressure on Nebraska to get bowl eligible against Iowa. It didn't work out that way. Obviously, Nebraska beat the brakes off them and then sent Wisconsin spiraling to the point that Minnesota blew them out a week later. So
with bowl eligibility on the line.
Again, so it did the reverse to them. Kind of like how Nebraska volleyball did against Kentucky. You know, Penn State did the reverse sweep. They did it back to Kentucky this last weekend. So I just think, look, they just got to – this is a maturity game, maturity season. You can't look to week 4. You got to handle week 2. That's the most important game is the one that you got in front of you. and you're trying to build the habits and the standards and all the stuff that sounds good, that leads to wins and wins upon wins, no matter who you're playing against. It's because the things that you build upon in these next 2 games will do as much or maybe more for you than a raucous crowd at 2:30 or 2:00 playing Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Michigan's been in here before in an environment like that, with a better team and not back down.
Yeah, and sure, and they've been on the national scene, so it's not, you're not going to intimidate them by it. Now, what I mean by that is the things that you build on this week and the next week and through practices and meetings and how you operate outside of the stadium, meaning you still work as diligent, on your diet, hydration, time management, schoolwork, sleep, and all that. That's the discipline. That discipline will lead you or put you in a better position to beat Michigan here in 2.5 short weeks. That's the biggest point, because now you're trying to create habits of your. It doesn't matter who you play. It's a faceless opponent. The most important opponent is us on how we handle our business day in and day out, week in and week out. And you do that, then, it really it puts you in a really good situation against Michigan, because all the questions outside of that you'll be working towards to eliminate those or minimize those, because you've addressed them tangibly, and then you see the results tangibly on Saturdays leading up to the Michigan game, and then obviously later in the season.
You can't change who's on Nebraska's schedule right now. If you're Nebraska, you're not in control of who you face. All you can do is line up and go kick the tail of the dude in front of you. Whether you're on an island as a DB, whether it's in the trenches, whether it's, Dylan manipulating a safety with his eyes, whatever it is. Akron's on the schedule. Houston Christian's on the schedule. I know fans want to see Nebraska, look more impressive against a team like Cincinnati, right? Really put the nail in the coffin, right? Drive the dagger through the heart. But at this point, Nebraska, I think to your point, Jay, just has to make sure, like you said, it's fundamentally sound. And even if Akron's athletes aren't the same as Michigan, the only chance Nebraska is going to have against Michigan or some of the higher rated teams on their schedule down the line starts with Cincinnati, now continues into Akron. Do the right thing against those guys. And then it's not going to be any easier against the bigger name teams. But if you can do it against someone, you should be able to do it against pretty much anyone. You have a base to build off of. Sure, maybe got to get bigger, faster, stronger. Maybe you'll need to go from 95% correct technique to 99 or 100% correct technique to win the way you need to against Michigan. But you just got to start by taking care of the business in the game in front of you against the guy in front.
You know what's funny is that now that we won the Cincinnati game, everybody was worried about, well, what happens if it's the same old Nebraska, we lose the Cincinnati game? We win the Cincinnati game, everybody's mad.
Well, if it's the same old Nebraska, they're not putting teams away.
Yeah, or how it looks. Now, granted, they need to play better, right? Coach Rule said that. They got a lot of work to do, so they got to clean up a lot, right? And that's on the players as much as the situation. But now that we've got past that or won the first game, now everybody's up here worried about who we're playing on the schedule, when every year prior, it's like our schedule is so hard. I'm here to give you a little bit of a free advice. This is a earth-shattering opinion, statement, factual. It's evidence, it's facts. Football is hard. It's the hardest sport out there. Nothing is easy. No schedule is easy. The schedule becomes easier as you do the hard things repeatedly and efficiently, correctly, day in, day out, and you really enjoy the nuances and the work. So there is no easy schedule. There's a favorable schedule when you play people. How many hard games you have back to back? Where you play them,
when you play them, their schedule,
situation, and all the when's the last time they played a team comparable to you, or they play a really physical team and later in the year and all that stuff. That's their favorable schedules. There's nothing easy in football. There's nothing easy in football in this day and age. There's nothing easy. It's hard. Football is a hard sport. You got to be hard. You have to be hardened. And if you try to be something other than that, and if somebody's telling you can be something other than that, they are lying to you. They are lying to you, and then you would lie to yourself, and then you will end up being like those Alabama players, walking around with more talent than their pinky, than majority of people playing football. You know what I'm saying? And then you went out there on national TV and embarrassed yourself. You embarrass yourself when you're laughing after you get your butt kicked. You're embarrassing yourself to the point that you were jogging out there because that's a practice habit. You embarrass yourself that you're getting blown up on the same block that I talked about with UNC when the Florida State tight end rocked that dude, forklift the dude, then stood over you. That's how you get to there. Not understanding that you have to do the hard, which is in football day in and day out, and make the ultimate sacrifice to play this sport. So Akron should be sitting there or sitting there just understanding you're about to get a beating. And the reason why the beating needs to happen because I'm already back because all the work I had to do all week.
I got to take it out on someone.
Because I can only imagine. I mean, I'm not down there, but I just go back to when we would play a team like Akron or like Pacific. Those practice that week was horrible. Not horrible. It sucked because I knew we weren't going to play that much. Nothing changed in our preparation.
Still got to put in all that work.
In fact, I think it was probably more physical because he was like, you guys ain't going to get, you're not going to get a lot of plays. And you don't really get the playoff because we didn't, we always, a lot of guys played. After we got up, you were out. And we rotated players as well. So, you weren't getting the payoff on Saturday. Whereas, I think that drastically changed when Bo was here. He would play his starters deep into the third and fourth quarter against inferior teams. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how they get these guys build stats, and that's how you end up going to the pros. And they were great players. I'm just saying it's drastically different. That's why the depth wasn't there. That's why when somebody got hurt, it was, whoa, what's next? Because they weren't able to develop. So it's a catch-22. So now these guys should be thinking okay, we're going to inflict some pain on these guys. They might get a little bit longer run to make sure that the things that they've been working on is better. So I'd be excited for it. And, ideally everybody plays. It's a win-win situation.
Got a full roster at your disposal now.
Yeah, you got a home game. So, but I think, you could have a million different mindsets. You could be a starter and feel like the obligation to go out there and play really, really well. So the other guys on the scout team and they've really put in a lot of work that don't get the payoff of playing, at least not yet, get a chance to play. And then that mindset, because I got to play well. So that's not changing anything. And it's still for the betterment of the team. It's just you're just kind of massaging it a little different way. It's all mental, man. But I still don't think people understand how hard football is. I don't think people understand how hard it is to put your football pants on, pads on, and helmet and walk out there.
I don't know, Jay. I wear pants to every football game I watch. So
but
I think
you don't wear no pads or a helmet.
I got a headset. It's close enough, right?
Every day. Okay, go out there and run into that window.
Don't mind if I do.
60 times, okay? And then I want you to run from 9th Street to 84th Street, down and back, take an hour break, and come and do the same thing again.
Deal.
But you got to do it for...
Within 3 hours.
Okay, within 3 hours. But let me see. Then you got to do it for 8 months. That's 240 days.
Woo!
I'll give you a couple times just to, do the arm curls and all that stuff. But
Heaven knows I need it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's one of those things that, Nebraska's got to go. They got to develop. We got to go do what we got to do. And it doesn't matter who we're playing. You do that, man. I'm telling you, all the things that you wish and hope for and you ideally trained for will come to fruition. You cannot look at week 4. You have to look at week 2. The most important week is the most important meetings and all that stuff.
Hard to do, but you got to make it what you do.
Yeah. The solution is easy, right? We all could say it. It's hard to do. A lot of distractions, a lot of chances to lose focus. So now this is when you got to really focus. And so, it's going to be heavy week on leadership and guys that need to step up and play well, and then they got to lead well as well. So that leads us into our last break. So we're going to take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 9th are 15% off produce, $1 off all drinks, and 8-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished flat iron steaks for $12.99 each. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call Liberty Law at 877-42-LIBERTY. Advocates you need, trial attorneys you can trust. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hi, I'm Eli Barnes, Assistant Vice President at Midwest Bank at the 70th and Pioneers and 27th Jamie Lane locations. I love working with families and small businesses right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Banking shouldn't be complicated, and that's why we make it personal. Whether it's opening your child's first account or securing a loan for your next big step, I'm here to help. Stop in today and say hello. I'd love to meet you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Experience an electric vehicle firsthand at LES's EV Ride and Drive, September 28th at the LES Operations Center. Registration is open now, but spots are limited. Visit les.com/drive to reserve your drive.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovebneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Got my man texting in from Lincoln. He said that try catching 9 innings in baseball, 100-degree heat, or playing 18 holes of golf and you're 13 beers deep. Why don't you just be 18 beers deep? Then you do it. But you have to do it for 240 days. I doubt anybody would be able to do it.
I will say catching 9 innings, 100-degree heat,
that's
probably
no
brutal. And here's the thing. Baseball does play 162 times. And catchers do take a legitimate physical beating.
Yeah.
But that's the one position on the field.
They get beat up.
So mad respect to catchers, but that's not everyone.
They get beat up a lot. And to play, to be a catcher, it takes a different mindset. It really does. I think catchers are generally, probably, I would say, could be the best managers because they have to manage 8 other players and everybody in the clubhouse, locker room, whatever you want to call it.
Catchers and centers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
A lot going on.
Right, that's what I was saying. And they can manage everybody else, their emotions, and then find ways to be the glue and then be very productive. So, anyways, our friends down here at Lincoln Children's Museum, are you planning a trip to Memorial Stadium for the Husker game? Football games can be fun for the whole family, but sometimes younger children can't sit through a whole game. So what should you do? Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. That's pretty special. Matter of fact, I know some adults that need to go down there. While the parents enjoy the game inside the stadium, their kids get their own game day experience from our friends at Lincoln Children's Museum. Drop them off 90 minutes before the game and pick them up 60 minutes after the game. While you're cheering on the Huskers, the kids can enjoy the fun activities involving science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, all centered around the theme of football and getting active. It's affordable, convenient, and just steps away from Memorial Stadium. If interested, you must register your child or children prior to game day online at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org. You know what? That's pretty cool. I know about 4 adults. We got to check the age range.
5 to 12.
Oh, Nick doesn't have an ID. I would take Nick down there. I get first of all, Rico would pass for that. And a couple other ones I won't answer. That could just drop them off at the Children's Museum.
Hang out here. Can't trust you to be on your best behavior at the stadium. Don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out the great people at Lincoln Children's
Yeah,
Museum.
that is.
I will say the Orman family has become a big fan of the Children's Museum. I remember going there a few times as a kid. Walked past it all the time when I was down at the J School. But little man loves the Children's Museum. There's all sorts of fun stuff you mentioned going on down there, even just on regular days.
Yeah.
Let alone football game days.
It's a pretty cool idea. Very thoughtful, and then obviously very affordable, but still could, you got the Husker theme with it. I think it's great because it's allowing the parents or the adults to go enjoy the game, and you can go tailgate, you can enjoy the win, you can post tailgate, and make sure you get some waters and food in you, and then you get to pick your kids up, and they're able to get a little education. In a fun way, fellowship, and then obviously learn a little bit. And then also I think it could, increase the attractiveness of the Children's Museum, which, like you said, and I've been down there a few times. It is a great place, and, I enjoyed going down there as well. So appreciate their support, and obviously we strongly encourage everybody to go down there and drop their child or children down there. So appreciate you guys listening. Whiteboard Wednesday will be up. One of the best ones of PTSD, but then also from Bill Belichick. A little Husker talk, a little NFL talk, and definitely some NBA talk. Moving money. Money is moving. For my man, Austin Orman, I'm Jay Foreman. We're old school. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Eli Barnes, Assistant Vice President at Midwest Bank at the 70th and Pioneers and 27th and Jamie Lane locations. I love working with families and small businesses right here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Banking shouldn't be complicated, and that's why we make it personal. Whether it's opening your child's first account or securing a loan for your next big step, I'm here to help. Stop in today and say hello. I'd love to meet you. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum